Chapter 6 starts in just a few days, and we're going to be catching up on the storyline, and we're going to be starting all the way from the very beginning, chapter 1, all the way up to chapter 6. We're going to be reacting to Cyan's entire storyline video. Let's go ahead and begin. Let's begin.
It all started with a big bang, just like our real life.
That's the Big Bang event. Oh my god.
Before this very moment, all which existed was darkness and the god of night, the nothing. But now, since this pure explosion of light, existence has been born, the 0 point. This glowy ball is created by a balance of darkness and light, as because of that it can both create life and destroy it. But what you see here, this huge flower-like bloom of energy, is not the 0 point. This is the ever-expanding omniverse and how it looks from the outside. A universe is a huge ball that contains lots of planets and galaxies. A multiverse is a ball that in it
You're already wrong, Cyan. This video sucked. I'm joking.
It has many of those universes, and now Omniverse is the biggest you can get. It is this ball that contains every single multiverse there is within it. Think of it as Marvel, DC, Street Fighter, Transformers, God of War, or Fortnite original
Godzilla?
world.
You didn't say
All
Godzilla!
of these exist within separate galaxy-like portals called realities, and each reality has its own rules for the ways it functions. One of the things that is different in every reality is the way that time functions or the rules of it. For example, spending an entire week within Reality Zero would be just a couple of minutes within real life. Then no matter if collab or Fortnite original, all of these realities are directly connected to the god of this game, the 0 point. This thing gives life to them all. It manages time in every reality and basically allows existence to happen. So if this ball ever dies, it will basically be the end of everything. Now, just like real life, if something is too powerful, of course there will be greedy people who will want to control and abuse this power. So to counter that, 0 point creates a reality for itself to live within. This reality was supposed to be completely lonely and only contained the 0 point within itself. But one day, two gods find this thing. They think of using it to evolve life and create perfection out of it. So these two gods come up with a plan. They force the 0 point to create a floating world made out of two islands upside down of each other, with infinite water generated by the 0 point in the middle of them. Then the older waters being dumped into space. After that, they make an indestructible alien-like bunker in the center, locking the 0 point within, protected from danger. Even a protection bubble made around the island that if you got close to it you would burn alive. After they programmed the 0 point to create something called the loop. How the loop functions is that the 0 point releases radiation out of itself onto the entire island.
Wait, so the 0 point created the bunker itself, the vault? Because it wasn't the imagined order, was it? Because they were trying to find it. How did Geno have control of the 0 point from the beginning if they didn't have access to it? I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
If you ever come onto this world, that radiation allows the 0 point to place you within an alternate realm overlapping the actual map. In this realm, you completely lose your memories and lose the ability to speak with your voice. And then many loops can exist at the same time as well. Then whatever you do,
Wait, wasn't Geno the first to find the 0 point though and take control, or did that not happen till chapter 2? Wait, it must have happened before chapter 2 because it happened before chapter 2. 2-hour video is crazy. Yeah, this video is gonna be sick. I am put a lot of effort into this.
Any damage you make onto the world or building, it all gets wiped out after exactly 22 minutes. So once again you lose all of your memory and have to do everything all over again, while a sentient storm made out of pure darkness keeps closing on you during that 22 minutes. This happening thanks to the pure light energy shell. If only one single person is alive exactly at the 22 minutes mark that the storm fully closes, the 0 point sees you as a perfect being and gifts you by freeing you from the loop, putting you back on the actual island. As unlike the loop, if you die here you will die forever, no respawning. If you manage to escape the loop in a split second, you gain back all of the memories of every single loop you have went through. But you will not get any memory from your past life coming to this world. That would only happen if you fully live this world into another reality, as things like the live events, which are way too big scales, happen both within the loop and outside of it. Something which later on the people of the island exploited to spawn as NPCs in the loop and speak with us. Right when you leave the loop, the 0 point creates an exact duplicate of you on that moment, which stays within the loop. This is done so new loopers have a stronger, more skilled enemies to fight, which are these duplicates who Fortnite calls snapshots. That's also exactly why so many Jonesy variants exist, because he joins and leaves the loop a lot. But there are ways to protect yourself from the 0 point's radiation. One of those is wearing a fully sealed suit made out of materials to deflect the radiation. Another is being a godly powerful being like Force, so you can have some level of resistance against the 0 point depending on how strong you are. Then dark dark magic is your best choice against this 0-point radiation. Just have an object of pure darkness around your head and you will be fine. But also the attack made by the people in the future can go against this too. Things like rift guns or a device made to bring you out of the loop on activation. Now why did the gods even create the loop? How does this thing evolve life? Well, it does that by training your instincts and muscle memory. You might not remember anything, but the 0-point causes the people in the loop to be scared and fight for their life, using their muscle memory which carries over every loop, then fighting non-stop for many loops to train.
Wait. Excuse me?
Their muscle memory which carries
Jesus!
over every loop, then fighting non-stop through many loops to train your body, mind, instincts and muscles to become perfect. And that's
Bro's thicker than Lucifer, oh my god.
exactly why if you're the final person alive, the 0-point rewards you by freeing you. The gods first choose 5 realities to experience this before
The 5 realities! No, but listen, Cyan, this theory is I'm 100% with you on this theory. Like, look at this.
the others, creating 5 portals directly towards those and the people of them slowly being brought into the loop. A choice which directly breaks the rule of reality 0 being a lonely safe place for the 0-point. These 5 realities seem to include an advanced knighted one, a jungle world of scientists and visionaries of frozen road, a Japanese mythology inspired world and a Greek mythology inspired world. Many of these people successfully complete the loop's training and grow powerful, then escaping the loop because of it. The first person to ever escape the loop being Geno himself, and exactly where
we're gonna get a lot more lore of the 5 realities in chapter 6, and all the factions like Fox Clan and crap. I forgot the others. River Guard. I forgot the rest.
The story of Fortnite begins. The people who skip the loop, especially Geno, begin imagining what powers they could reach within this magical world, especially with the 0-point. How they could even protect all of the Omniverse with it. That causes them all to join together, and with the lead of Geno, the ruler of Oathbound Kingdom, they create an organization called the Imagine Order, as they also create a new language so the members from the different realities all can speak and write the same language.
What? Cyan, did you figure this all out yourself? What the hell am I looking at right here? I did not. Flashy, don't worry, we're gonna get into it soon, like starting from chapter 1. I mean, this is just the information we need to know before. Holy crap, this is actually legit. Cyan, you should have done this whole video in Imagine Order language.
They also create a new language so the members from the different realities all can speak and write the same language.
Oh, by the way, I did try to get Clark to watch this with me. He doesn't care for the video, he hates you.
Regional founders form an inner circle within IO, as each having groups their bosses off under their faction to manage different tasks needed. One of those which we know of is Midas, the richest man alive with the power of the golden touch. He used to be a great king with a big hunger and greed for gold. This led into Midas receiving a gift from the Greek gods, which was the golden touch. After he goes to his rose garden, testing his new powers on them, watching the roses slowly turn into gold, as only his left hand has the power to turn things into gold. He has shared the right one and given it to his wife so she can also use such power. Midas's daughter Jules, excited, comes towards her dad as he holds her with his hands, completely forgetting about the new powers, so he listens to their daughter slowly becoming gold, just like
that. Was still the best. That thumbnail you made, that one thumbnail, I think it was that one, wasn't it? When Midas was holding Jules, that was incredible.
The roses, dying by the hands of her own father. Midas, the greedy king of gold ever since, has never forgiven himself for what happened, making both him and Marigold now see their golden powers as a curse from the gods. They even hunt their powers so strong to destroy it, making them find Aura and Aurelia through it, the former king and queen of gold. But one day he chooses to make a great sacrifice for taking your daughter's soul out of the underworld and give her life again. A sacrifice which to me is him trading his own soul to Hades in return of his daughters. Midas now uses his wealth to pay for all of the cost of the Imagine Order, and every gold bar you find in game is actually his. Then his personal faction within the IO was named Ghost, which was somewhat of a crime family, and they did many development and research within IO, like the creation of the Doomsday device. We also got another inner circle member connected to a dark magical material called Chromium, with guardians using this as armor called Spire Assassins, and their job is to protect the world from darkness monsters trying to go inside of realities. Then we have Foundation, who I believe he used to be one of the inner circle members, a close friend of Geno, like two brothers evolving this faction together. And the final one which we know of right now is a member within this faction focused on the bridge. This place is where the magic happens, at a secret base right in the middle of the two islands under the water. This is exactly where the IO protects the 0-point and fully controls it out, or where the manipulation of the loop, opening rifts to different realities, bringing their people into this loop soup to evolve them. Doing lots of research on powerful items or learning everything that the 0 point can do, all of it happens in this place. This is basically the most important base and faction within IO, one led by two people, Gunner and Dr. Stone. Gunner within here is shown off as Geno himself. The people within this place are not supposed to know who the real Geno is, and they're also clueless about most things that the IO does or knows of. Then later on, a young girl named Stone impresses Geno with her intelligence. A girl who really wanted to learn every knowledge there is in the world, and the 0 point was perfect for that goal. Geno, seeing her potential and skill, promotes Dr. Stone to a very high rank within the bridge. But he also has some dark plans for this young girl, which we will go through. The main goal of the Imagine Order is to first of all protect all of the Omniverse, and on the side of that evolve and perfect all of these realities. That gets even more serious because while this faction is made to protect, another has been created to destroy. The Nothing, God of Darkness, has a vision which he wants to reach, and for that he needs an army. He wants to once again rule over everything. To create that, this Lord of Darkness, which is made out of pure decaying living force, manipulates people's thoughts and dreams through any material that has darkness within it. He promises people that they can reach a perfect home to find their true selves, and to evolve these people into their full potential with his gift. But only the strongest and the most perfect people get to have this gift, while all of the others will be getting...
Sorry, and I hope you counted the Fracture Reshaped in this. I don't care what anyone says, that event was canon, okay? That event was so good. It was what we should have got from Fracture. It's canon, okay? Hopefully you counted it, otherwise it's an L video.
Killed as they go through his challenges. Anyone who manages to complete all of these challenges and survive, they become champions of the Nothing. Then these champions together, all of them creating a faction called the Last Reality. And just like the Imagine Order, this faction's name represents the final goal, the reason these people fight. That being to destroy every single reality, kill anyone who does not deserve the gift of the Nothing. Then once that's finished, they create one single reality, a perfect home for all of the people within the Last Reality to spend the rest of their lives within. They basically want to end all of the Omniverse and Multiverse, so the world becomes a single universe and no more. The Last Reality goes stronger than any other faction you have ever seen in any story. The gift of the Nothing evolves these people stronger than anyone else, as the cube powers and the monsters can destroy worlds and realities in no time, with a full army of aliens and UFOs to travel the Omniverse with. Then a huge ship the size of a planet called the Cube Cradle, or the Reality Killer. But it doesn't even end there. The greatest weapon of the Nothing, a half-sentient living metal which can multiply and grow faster than anything that exists, as it has Midas touch-like powers and can take over entire worlds in seconds, destroying them fully. This metal even has the power to teleport the people it consumes from a place to another, so like this faction already has destroyed thousands of realities in no time. The existence of such a terrifying army makes the protection of the Imagine Order crucial, as they create defense systems to protect the 0 point and not let the Last Reality anywhere near it. So without this faction, all of us would have died in matter of weeks, as Geno, the undefeated champion and the leader of IO, then the person who was like a brother to him, the Foundation, the strongest member of the IO, who was said to be, if you mix up Nick's Fury, Hulk and the Iron Man into one person, that will create him. These two together protected us for thousands of years, making sure that the Last Reality does not reach their goal. But then something horrible happens. The two brothers become the biggest rivals, hating each other for eternity and doing anything to kill each other. The Foundation feels horribly betrayed by Geno, causing him to develop extreme trust issues. Because Geno broke the whole reason they even created the IO together, he was growing evil. He was becoming focused on growing himself more powerful than anyone else through the 0 point, and focused on perfecting the world too much, or becoming the ruler of the entire Omniverse. The Foundation, watching his friends slowly get corrupted like this, could not stay within the IO anymore. So he quit and created his own faction instead. He became the founder of the Seven. This faction was made for the people who see how corrupted and evil both the IO and the Last Reality are, betraying their factions and coming together as a rebel type of group. So it's fully formed from the former members of these two factions. As the second member of it, the Visitor, a mysterious navigational expert of this team who is a great fighter as well. Then we got the Scientist, who is an engineer and tech inventor of this group. All of the suits, the crazy weapons and anything these people use are all thanks to his crazy inventions. The Scientist is also in love with the fourth member, who is Paradigm. She is the smartest strongest member of the Seven, which probably that's why the scientists likes her so much. She was also born within Reality 659, a super high-tech world that because of it the people of that place can control and pilot crazy technologies better than anyone else. Now we have the 5th and 6th members who are twin sisters. These two are first of all the Order, the quiet and skilled spy of the Seven. Now the Imagine, the crazy-headed aggressive fighter of the group. These two are the children of Geno himself. There is a master of genetic science, he uses that to evolve himself and the ones who work within the Imagine Order. Geno has made every single member within the IO immortal, meaning that you stay within your prime age for the rest of your life. And also because of it, killing the Imagine Order members is not easy to do. That's exactly why the war of Fortnite has been going on for longer than thousands of years. Geno, right on the birth of his daughters, took them and began genetically changing them, making them immortal too, while also trying his best to make his daughters turn just like him, as powerful and just as smart. The daughters did become extremely powerful to the point that they were easily fighting Captain Marvel or the High Evolutionary with no problems whatsoever. So Geno was confident enough to make a bet with the Inner Circle members, since he was the first person to ever escape the loop and since he believes that his daughters are just like him. Geno makes a bet to send the sisters inside of the loop so they fight through it and escape just like he did in the past. But the bet was on how long it would take them to escape and the sisters doing so before anyone else. Since his daughters have grown very powerful, they do manage to get the victory royale and escape, but much later than Geno said and not the first to do it. This event made something click in Geno's head and started changing him as a person. Geno just realized because of this how much of a horrible father he was, forcing his daughters to be just like him without even giving them a chance to choose a life for themselves. This realization made Geno feel horrible and feel like he does not deserve to be a father, so he chose to wipe out the memory of his daughters, then put them in a reality far away from him. The choice was done to let the sisters finally have a chance to choose their own life and have nothing to do with Geno, as even he says their father wanted to set them free from himself. But some mistakes are too late to be fixed. That only led into the sisters joining the Seven to hunt down their past and family, finding his connections to the Imagine Order. The sisters have a very tragic history, but the final member of the Seven is much worse. Unlike all of the others, this guy is a former Last Reality member. He used to be the king of that faction even, evolved by the Nothing to have ultimate power and be the strongest being to ever exist. Just like the Cube Queen, for many years he destroyed hundreds of realities, killing trillions of people. But every time he got to see a new reality, he started liking the diversity between those worlds, the different cultures and the beauties of them.
Green Rio reacting to Science Entire Storyline video explained.
Origin fell in love with the idea of different worlds so much because of this to the point that he regrets every single choice he has ever made. Origin realizes how wrong the last reality is for wanting to end the omniverse and turn it into a single universe. So he steps down as a king and escapes to a random reality. This made the king of the cubes vulnerable for the first time in his life, and the Imagine Order did not waste their chance. They managed to capture and prison him at that moment, putting the Origin in their most advanced cells. But during one of—
Do you know what could be interesting? I wonder if someone told the Fortnite storyline, but in the order as we found it out, made like a whole movie. That's what I think should happen if there was a movie about it. They should definitely do that. Why is there not a Fortnite movie yet? It's actually wild.
Of the Seven's attacks against CIO, they see Origin in his cell, speaking to him and Origin explaining what exactly has happened to him. The Foundation feels so bad for Origin at this moment because he also used to be a higher member of a terrible evil faction too, so he chooses to trust and free the Origin from his cell.
That decision is still crazy to me. That is still crazy, because the last reality, the biggest threat ever, right? And Foundation doesn't know that, and he trusted him there. Like he was like, oh yeah, I'm not with them anymore, and he actually broke him out. Like that is crazy. That could have gone wrong easily. That's crazy.
Origin there wants to, rather than being sad about his past mistakes, instead use this moment and become the final member of the Seven, promising to from now on not let any realities be destroyed under his protection. And the thousands of years of fighting has turned him into the greatest general, so he is the one creating all of the battle plans for the Seven. But not just that, not only is the strongest member of the Seven thanks to his powers, the Foundation even turns him into somewhat of like a co-leader for the Seven, making then creates a new suit for within the group have to listen and follow follow Origin's commands as well. The scientist then creates a new suit for Origin to help him stay protected. These suits are made to be the strongest and the most advanced ones ever made. Not only they fully protect you from the 0-point radiation, but also they're built out of a material which is nearly indestructible. Even if you manage to damage the suits, they have an auto repair system which fixes the entire thing up in just 5 minutes. Then the same material they're made out of allows the Seven to fully cloak invisible when needed. Then a suit with jet boots that makes them fly out of a planet's orbit in just seconds. These suits are so powerful that they allow the Foundation to survive in the dark void which we saw outside the Omniverse, the same place that would be the home of the Nothing. The suits also run by a blue type of energy which should be the same thing that the 0-point uses, and this energy can be gathered on the hands for packing a punch or load their technologies like these energy blades, the flying boots or the blasters on their hands, and many other type of weapons and gadgets these suits have. But since this is a unique type of power, unlike an Iron Man suit, this energy can run out, so the Seven are always careful with how much of it they use before charging. And since there's just so much to deal with when using these things, the scientist has developed an AI assistant which is shared between all of the armors, one which keeps contact between the members, collecting data from the surrounding to help you with anything needed. And then the assistant keeps a log of every event the 7 members have gone through. These things are basically a big reason why the IO is so scared of the 7. But more importantly than that is the strong trust the 7 used to have between each other. Them always relying on each other and working extremely well as a team caused the 7 to beat the IO in every battle. That's also why the size of this team does not grow more than 7, because teamwork is the main focus and too many members will harm that. So while the IO has been trying their best to protect us from the last reality, at the same time the 7 have been trying to destroy them for hundreds of years, leading to many great battles, one which gets way more interesting from chapter 1 season 3, the beginning of the Fortnite story.
Oh crap! Oh, we're outside. Here we go. This is the very beginning.
No way.
Oh, it's the book. It's at the book of law.
Oh my god! It's it! I found it!
What?
Okay, there we go. There we go.
What's in
The
here?
book of
Let me
law.
check.
Oh,
Ah,
face reveal.
interesting.
Oh,
Meteor.
wait! You actually used the imagined order text,
Ah,
right?
interesting.
Oh my god, that's actually the imagined order text. Yeah, I don't have a clue.
A meteor appears in the distant sky, slowly getting closer to the island as it tears through the loop, blowing a huge hole in the middle of this world. This meteor releases magical shards named Top Rocks, so right away it grabs the attention of the IO, who back then we used to call the government. They build an entire research lab around this crash site and try to figure out what's inside of this thing, because something has been seen breathing inside of the rocks. While as the meteor kept breaking apart, IO members were bored around those times, so they built an entire movie team, or a whole movie theater on the map to watch them within. One of those which was being made at this exact
Maybe they were probably trying to do it to make more money to invest in the in their equipment and stuff. That's what I think.
season was a superheroes vs villains movie. The entire movie revolved around Omega escaping prison to build a huge robots army, so an epic fight between these two factions happened. Each faction also had...
I remember during that time, everyone was so angry in that one loading screen that when it showed that it was all like a movie setup. People were really angry. I remember during that time, people were really upset. Like, what the hell? Are you kidding me?
their own layers, and the villain layer had something really interesting happening within it. The IO creates a big rocket at this place as part of the movie to blow up tilted towers, but before that scene in the movie happens, the meteor finally crumbles, revealing an advanced pod within itself which opens right away. One of the members of the Seven, Visitor, comes out of this thing and destroys all of the IO guards waiting for him at this place, as he then watches the IO take away all of the hop rocks into the same place the rocket is being built at. It seems like they want to use the power of this thing to make the rocket fly, so the Visitor sees this as a perfect opportunity for himself. He first gathers all of the information needed from this place, then going to hack the rocket and putting a 7 mark on there, as he patiently hides in there waiting for the IO to do the launch countdown. While as it happens, he takes control over the rocket, opening rifts to try and escape, as it ends with a huge permanent rift opening within the skies. Those rifts only close if something big comes out through them, and oh boy did something come in.
Oh crap.
For the first time ever, the last reality has been allowed on the realm of the 0 point, and the cube of theirs comes through to finally let the last reality have a chance of fighting against Geno's protection system. This is a pattern that you will see more of the longer you follow Fortnite's lore. Every time the 7 do anything, it directly causes the last reality to come into the island and win even more. For now, this cube has a mission to go through. The Queen of the Cubes, the replacement of Origin, has a plan, and it begins from right here. Kevin the Cube does a circle around the island, creating many magical runes on it, as then it decides to melt under the stake in the middle of this world. But the melting did not happen for no reason. The 0 point is always in the center of every island, especially where you can find the most amount of water, since that thing generates the water of this world. So the cube either wanted to show us something is down there, or he wanted to do something to the 0 point itself. To reach his plan, the cube goes to those same runes created and sucks the life out of the island, gathering extreme amount of energy to try and open a portal within the skies. So then using that to spread cube monsters all over this world, as these monsters were protecting the cube from us trying to attack it. And it seems if the cube wanted to pull out the 0 point, it fell. So instead it chose to do something else. The cube allows itself to explode, and while it does, a mystical energy protects us from its impact, taking us to a weird realm, and a rift butterfly bringing us out once over. The explosion of the cube was done to create a massive cosmic storm and strike right onto the frozen moon near the island. This thing is owned by a sleeping king on it who is named the Ice King. He is said to be known by another name in the past, but we don't know what that is. The Ice King is from—
I think his name was James. That's my theory. I think his name was James before he turned into the Ice King.
from a frozen world which he rules over, a world that the Santa of this game is from as well. Within this world, he had 5 knights under his rule who he traveled the Omniverse with and gathered the most dangerous weapons or monsters out there. Things that are so powerful they could put realities in danger of being destroyed. You could say that these knights and the Ice King were somewhat protecting all of us, which could mean that they're reality warriors, but that's unknown. But what we do know about them is that these people had many castles in their world, ones which they collected and put these monsters or weapons within them. But the collection grew so big that one day the most trusted knight of the Ice King brings up how they could use all of these powerful things to alter realities to their liking, something which Geno does using the Imagine Order. The Ice King gets really angry when hearing this because he was scared of this day coming, so he chose to freeze all of his knights and take all of them and every single thing they have ever collected onto this moon. The king then rifts his entire moon and himself onto Reality Zero because he seems to know a lot about this place.
I wonder how he rifts an entire moon to Reality Zero though. I mean, I'm not really questioning it too much because it's the Ice King. It's not really a big deal, but we need cutscenes of this.
And also know how this was always meant to be a lonely safe road for the 0 point. A perfect place for him to hide in and keep all of this insane collection away from being stolen by other people. The cube after dying was exactly trying to attack this very moon, as it does with a cosmic lightning exploding and causing the moon to shatter. As because of that, a huge chunk of the moon falls right into the waters of the map and slowly gets closer and closer to us after. The frozen chunk brings with itself the very castle Ice King was sleep within, along with Santa and some normal people that are great at technology and have even created robots. Those things are named AIM and they were even sent to scan the island before the crash of the Polar. Then one of their people, Lynx, later on joined in and became the great assassin of the Imagine Order. Now as these people were exploring the island giving gifts to the people for Christmas, the frozen chunk kept melting more and people named AIM and they were even sent to scan the island before the crash of the Polar. Then one of their people, Lynx, later on joined in and became the great assassin of the Imagine Order.
Wait, Lynx came from the Ice Moon? I actually didn't know that.
Now as these people
I guess that makes sense.
were exploring the island giving gifts to the people for Christmas, the frozen chunk kept melting more and more every day, revealing the main parts of this giant castle within, as that also freed the Infinity Blade, one of those reality-threatening weapons which the Ice King took as his collection and hide. The Loopers or even the Imagine Order were attracted by its infinite power, trying to take the blade for themselves. This reactivated the Ice King after many years of sleep.
Battlestar! XP. I see XP. XP reference. Oh my god.
And he arrives to take back the blade and freeze it once more, but he is scared of something much worse. Some of the most dangerous collections of his and the prisoners have also been brought within this castle: the Devourer, Hybrid Eggs, and the Fire Knight. All of those beings are still frozen within this place, but the ice is now melting and it will lead into their awakening. So the Ice King must do anything he can to stop that. To reach this with the help of the Ice Queen, they gather lots of energy for summoning one of the biggest snowstorms ever seen. One meant to stop the melting and freeze the entire map with it, so he begins that by growing giant.
I didn't watch this event. I don't remember. Was it hyped up a lot? Because people weren't happy with this one.
Everything is now covered in frozen snow as all of the people on the island are suffering from the cold. A small price to pay for stopping these monsters from awakening, but the problem is it didn't work. The Ice King is one of the strongest beings to ever exist, but there is no power stronger than the 0 point. So this orb already begins turning the temperatures to normal, causing the ice to melt even faster now. And as more things are being revealed, the prison of the Ice King opens up. Then in the middle, a frozen prisoner chained up and asleep near some hybrid eggs. The little remaining ice on here allows a person to finally awaken and escape from the Ice King, revealing himself as one of the Ice King's knights, the Fire One. He's the same knight who came up with the idea of altering realities using these collections, but now he earns for balance against the cold, and to reach that he gets the key to unlock the chains using campfires to gain some of his power back, and in the end the summoning circle to reach his final form evolve into the Fire King instead. He wants revenge on the Ice King, so he begins by summoning an entire volcano to break out of the ground as he uses that to power himself up, while also for farming and growing up these hybrid eggs. And now both sides are ready to fight one another till one gets defeated. The Fire King plans to charge up his volcano to melt and destroy everything on the island, but till that happens, the Imagine Order is up to something really interesting. They have had full control over the island for thousands of years, but not the 0 point. After what the Cube did within season 6, the IO gets ideas of something powerful hiding under this world, so they begin digging many locations to try and find this thing until they reach an unbreakable metal covering the entire ground. This is them right into the center where the Cube opened the hole at, and so the IO digs the entire place up, revealing a massive bunker door under, one looking super alien-like as well. Revealing the bunker causes these 5 keys to activate one by one, each being a unique puzzle we need to complete, and the runes on the keys were supposed to give us hints for what exactly we need to do for the puzzles. So all of the loopers need to figure these things out for opening the bunker. Once the puzzle was finished, all of the 5 keys activated this bunker, allowing the doors to open and for us to get pulled into a familiar vault we have been within once. A place with a table and a mask of the Singularity, who's possibly the guardian of the 0 point, and maybe even one of the original people who created the loop. But more importantly than her, the first time ever we got to see the 0 point in person. This thing looks beautiful, and Singularity wants to give us a gift for managing to open the bunker. She lets the loopers choose one fan favorite item of theirs to return onto the loop for them to use. But just like last time, how this wood was used to protect us against the Cube's shockwave, yet again Singularity allows us in here because she was trying to protect us from something. Exactly at the same time as the bunker opening, the Fire King is done charging his volcano and he begins striking the island. A grand fight between him and the Ice King as he also strikes the polar peak. The fight causes lots of destruction on this world, forcing the IO members to also hide within the created bunkers around the map, ones that they have built many of to control the island from, even putting magical golems within them to kill any looper that goes within the bunkers. The outcome of this fight is the Ice King defeating the prisoner and freezing him deep within the waters of this place, as then he tries his best to stop the strikes on his castle that are melting the ice away, because the most terrifying collection of his is still within there. For now, going back to the IO workers who jumped into the bunker to survive this fight, we got Jonesy, also John Jones. This man comes from a dangerous dying world where the last reality's corruption has taken over. Within here, he used to have wife and kids as he loved them and did anything to protect them. One day, the Imagine Order comes to him offering Jones to become one of their agents. Jones's family have a really bad feeling about the IO, so they want nothing to do with it. But then the IO gives Jones another offer. He can come and join them to work alone. Then in return, IO will fully protect his family and make sure that nothing bad happens to them. Jones, hearing this, had no other choice but to accept the offer. While he loved his family so much, Jones worked as hard as he could, becoming IO's top tier best agent. So good to the point that IO couldn't function without him anymore. I mean, just look at how many languages this man can even speak. But this same success became the downfall of Jones as well. His family are growing very old, so he might never even get to see them anymore. Because of this, he asked the IO to let him retire, take away his immortality so he can die from old age with his family. But the IO refuses to let him go because, as I said, this man has become way too important in there for them to lose him. This caused Jones's family to die as he never got to see them. The very thing that was the start of Jones regretting every choice he has ever made. But he still kept working within the IO because he was told that Jones was being a hero by doing as the Imagine Order says, or that he was saving people's lives. At this moment, Jones was stuck in a bunker with a banana. These two had to spend an entire century within.
Wait, I probably missed it. How did Jonesy get in the bunker? Why was he not in the Imagined Order base? Why was he here? He was on the island, needed to take cover. he was on the island, he needed to take cover immediately. So this was the outfit he was wearing.
In here waiting for someone to open the doors once things calmed down, but no one came to do so for a while. It went on for so long that they ran out of food and he had no choice but to drink his new friend for survival. But wait, turning Billy into a smoothie and drinking him causes Jones to begin seeing visions. It seems that drinking this can allow you to see small parts of dangerous futures coming up. Jones right away begins drawing these future visions on the walls of the bunker with anything he got. As in the center of all of this, we got a giant mech fighting a huge monster. Then right when Jones was done, people finally found this bunker and opened it, allowing Jones to see how much the island has changed in the many years he was stuck within the bunker. All of these changes are thanks to Singularity, the guardian of the 0 point, who saw the horrible damage done by the two kings battle, so she chose to use the 0 point energy for not only repairing the damage, but also evolving this world into the future. As everything seems to be going great, Jones begins warning everyone of the visions he has been seeing, but sadly no one believed him and they all said that he was just going crazy because of his time within the bunker. The thing is though, Singularity already had a massive sword ready for killing something huge hidden as her own statue, so she might already have known of what Jones talks about as well. But there is one thing that led into proving what Jones saw, because Ice King fails to stop the melting and already the huge eye of the monster is visible to all loopers, and as you can see it has awakened, in no time breaking out of captivity, destroying some parts of the map and then jumping into the deep waters. The IO seeing this has no choice but to work together with Singularity and use the remains of the Fire King's volcano to build a massive mech within. And the mech's creation might have not just been for killing the monster, but for another big reason as well, because on this huge island there is only one single person. Another big reason as well, because on this huge island there is only one single person smart and skilled enough to pilot such a huge mech solo, and that is Paradigm herself. Recently she was captured by the IO and held within the same prison the Origin used to be jailed at. Singularity makes the IO talk to Paradigm and bring up to her how she's the only one who can pilot the mech. The IO then says if she does not help, they will instead use one of Midas's doomsday devices to wipe out the monster and everyone on the island with it. So she has no choice because of this but to accept the offer. Singularity then gives one of her own suits to Paradigm for this mission, as she then modifies it with all she got to make it fit a 7th suit more with all the needed tech. Now Singularity could have intentionally chosen a mech knowing that only Paradigm could pilot it, using this as a chance to help her escape IO. But for now the fight begins.
Oh my god! This event was so good.
The monster reveals itself once more, seeing the energy of the 0 point and heading right towards it. So the mech activates, doing its best to protect the bunker. Paradigm almost fails, so she has no other choice but to go for the 0 point herself and use it to supercharge the mech. This giving her enough power to summon and grab the huge sword and push lots of 0 point power within it. As then she shows off the extreme power of this orb by destroying and killing the monster. Now using this as a perfect chance to do what Singularity wanted, she flies into the space trying to run away from IO, as she manages to do so by seeing the same frozen moon that caused all of.
Wait, don't you mean Paradigm? It was Paradigm in the thing, wasn't it? Not Singularity, or were they both in there?
This, landing on it just to be hit by a terrifying snowstorm that would kill anything. It would even destroy the very powerful suits of the 7. This makes it so IO can chase Paradigm while it traps her inside of the mech, nowhere to go but just waiting for rescue. The reason why this one has suddenly grown so deadly is because right when the Ice King defeated his knight again and failed to stop the monster from waking up, he chose to return into his moon and make it much colder than ever before, going to levels that will make sure that every living being and collection on this place would fully die. So things like the Devourer and much never happen again. But he couldn't bring the Infinity Blade with him because Diallo took their chance and stole that collection from him hiding it. The king then chooses to once more sit on his throne for eternity so he can keep this place deadly cold forever. But now on the island things are not going well at all. For the first time ever, not only the 0 point is exposed but it's horribly manipulated and damaged, causing it to begin cracking and losing control. Then suddenly an explosion. Jones gets
all the
pulled into
Seven's
a
fault.
time dimension of the 0 point where alternate forms of things from the past and the future can be seen, all of them dropping onto the island with the same meteor as season 4. But this time the meteor gets sucked in time along with the 0 point as well, causing it to just stay still in the sky, not hitting the ground. And this time, rather than the visitor, the third member of the 7 gets released instead, that being the scientist, a man who right away Diallo says mechs after. So not only had to upload a virus into their system to get rid of the mechs, but also he took one and built a huge fighting suit out of it. Now the scientist has a plan for calming down the 0 point, but also using this as a chance for the 7 to take over this side of the map with it. He creates many replicants used to bring entire locations from different worlds into us. He even brought the entirety of the Gotham City rifted into this map, which was pretty sick. This helped the scientist to get many of the resources needed for his plan, but also to communicate with the 7 and himself using some voice tapes, then to create permanent rifts within the sky which will also be used really soon. With the help of everything, scientist builds yet another rocket similar to the one that the visitor used, but he also manages to duplicate that thing into 7 rockets for his plan. And now that everything is prepared, he begins the launch.
Yeah, Fortnite always cooked with their damn music.
Scientists along with the other 7 rockets begin rifting back and forth on the meteor over and over again, causing it to finally get unpaused from time and sucked into a giant rift. As then one of the rockets opens the rift right on top of the 0 point and rushing into it to prepare the orb for impact. The plan of the scientists was to use the meteor for safely resetting the omniverse, making the 0 point suck everything into it for yet another big bang to happen, but done in a way to keep all of the people alive and not kill. This would finally heal the omniverse and the 0 point. But this choice was also made for the 7 to take over the island, and they do manage to take full control, but not as much as they wanted. The 0 point doesn't fall under their protection. The 0 point is fully healed, so it's time for another big bang. The resetting of the omniverse is complete, so the Imagine Order lands on the island with the loopers once more. But this time the void sphere within looks completely different. It looks like a whole new island, yet with familiar places like Pleasant Park, Retail, Salty and so on. Well, this is not really a whole new world, it's just the flip side of the island we used to be on. And the art direction has changed because of the omniverse reset, as the entire map has also been recreated because of it. Then in the middle of that, some locations from chapter 1 like Pleasant Park got put into the flip side instead. Then while the 7 managed to take full control over the original map, Diallo now has a new world to have fun with, and this time the 0 point also ended up on their side. So this is exactly where they create their own version of the breach which we talked about. The place to protect, control and use the 0 point for building many technologies to fully control how the loop and the island functions, or even for them to open rifts onto other realities and bring people from them onto here to be looped. After all the events, for the first time ever, instead of Singularity, Diallo is now in control of the 0 point. While Diallo was busy protecting us from the last reality and experimenting on the 0 point to learn his powers, one of their horror members realized the same thing as the 7. It's the fact that Ayo and Jano are not who they used to be, they're becoming greedy. This causes Midas, one of the smartest people in this game, to come up with a master plan. The plan is for destroying Diallo, but not just because it's the right thing to do, but also because he is still trying to gain back the trust of his daughter after what happened, so Midas is doing good for the sake of his daughter. This plan begins by Midas wanting to make a whole new new faction on the side of his original ghost. The faction will be called Shadow as it was first built by 3 original members named the First Shadows: Sierra, Burning Wolf, and Chaos Agent, who was chosen as the co-leader. This man is the crazy scientist who fused himself with a weird black living goose. Midas funded and helped him with his projects while also helping him build a much better suit for containing his ooze, as all of these 3 people were chosen by going through a fake heist that was planned by Midas. And if they managed to succeed in the heist, that would prove Midas worthy of becoming a First Shadow. Midas is now ready for the second part of his plan, which is asking Io for permission on going on the island and test building one of the doomsday devices his team has been working on. The Io accept this, but of course they keep an eye on Midas to make sure that he doesn't do anything suspicious, and the mastermind already knows that, so he calls in every agent he has worked with before by activating these things in their ears, a device that was said to do some really cool things that we have not gotten to see yet. His buff cat protects his personal yachts named after his wife. His bodyguard Brutus protects Grotto, an underground military base. TNT now controls an oil rig on the island. Sky is within a modern shark house which later on becomes a prison. Then in the end agency, the command base of Ghost, where this battle pass hub and Midas' personal room was located under and fully controlled by him. But what does Shadow, the faction he just created, has anything to do with this? Well, as I said, the Imagine Order wants to keep full watch on every action that Midas makes here, even sending spies after him, many of which Midas finds and kills, turning their mask golden because of how they betrayed him. But Shadow was created to begin a grand war against Ghost. Yep, both factions will have the same boss fighting one another. Midas created a fake war on the island to cause chaos and fully distract all of the IO members, so their focus shifts from him onto instead ending this war on the island. This war kept going as Ghost took over the shark and Shadow the rig, blowing it up, then after taking over Grotto. And for the yacht, well, at that moment Deadpool was working for Midas, sleeping within the toilets of that place as he like flooded the whole thing up. While Midas was busy, he decided to take over his yacht, turning this thing into a party place, then kicking out the poor Meowso still. Man, what did this poor kitty do? And he was probably also trying to steal Midas's golden pistols.
Are these 2 gold-plated 50 caliber Desert Eagle pistol arrows?
But while this war was happening, Midas, with the help of his daughter, created a full doomsday device in his bedroom. Yet this was not made in the way that he promised the IO off. Rather, Midas built this device to destroy the loop and free us from it, probably so we all unite and help him end the IO after it. Midas wears this suit for controlling the device as he finally turns it on.
The best event, well, the second best event actually. This was my second favorite event. The music in this is just incredible. God.
Doomsday device manages to win against the storm, pushing it away as it causes all of the Reapers to awaken on the real island. Some of us even waking up within John Jones's personal office, the place where we all finally realize how everything about this world is being controlled and manipulated by a secret hidden faction, one who was even watching us all the time, and the place where for the first time ever we actually hear someone talking it, and we can understand their words.
What the? How are you even? Wait. Can you hear me?
But right when it felt like we're finally gonna be free, suddenly everybody gets pulled back into the loop. The storm already teased how it was not done thanks to a cube lightning striking and destroying the device. And now we get to see not only the storm back thanks to a cube lightning striking and destroying the device. And now
How do we know it's just cube lightning though? I don't know how I don't know. I get it. I don't know though. It might just be like an effect of the storm. I think, because it was the device was trying to shoot back the storm. Why would the last reality affect that? And if they could affect the island for that, why couldn't they? Maybe it was a nothing. Like, why would they if the last reality could impact the island like that, wouldn't they just like do something more crazier? Like
We get to see not only the Stormback but also here to take revenge on Midas by holding a huge tsunami to drown all of us. The IO uses the storm shield to hold off the tsunami, but it doesn't last for long, causing it to drown the entire map, while
God.
also bringing sharks here, one of those eating Midas. This happened within the loop, so Midas didn't fully die, he respawned after it. Now he has to go in hiding since if the Imagine Order finds him, he's dead. But IO still allows his family and agents to keep working in there since they had no idea of this plan. But they're all on their full white, so none of them make any shady choices like him. Now that Midas is gone, IO begins fully getting rid of Ghost and Shadow from the island, both becoming factions under IO till Midas returns, as Juice tries to repair the damages done to this place, while No Sweat Insurance is trying to protect people's homes and items using these floating technologies. But as everyone are busy repairing, a star can be seen burning directly towards us.
Oh,
Something
crap.
is coming and nobody knows what for now. That thing is Galactus, who chose 4 as his new herald, and they were hunting dying planets for him to eat since the Black Winter was coming, and Galactus said to grow strong enough to kill it. During their travels, suddenly a massive rift opens in the space near them, as the 0-point energy waves can be felt through it. An infinite power that if Galactus consumes, he would never need to eat planets anymore, and he would be strong enough to deal with the Black Winter. This rift happened because of what the Seven did within Season X. Galactus since then went through the rift and has been flying right towards the 0-point. 4 cannot let him have such power since Galactus himself is a very evil person, so he comes to the map faster for warning us all to fight together. Yet not only the people on the island attacked him rather than listening to him, he also begins slowly forgetting his memories or why he's here or who even is he. But since 4 is such a powerful god, the 0-point cannot mute him, and 4 still manages to gain back some of his memories in the loop, causing him to send Odin's ravens to speak with the goddess of Bifrost. So she uses her powers to teleport many Marvel characters who can help 4 in this fight, one of which was Doom, who right away goes to take over a small village named Pleasant Park, trying to make this place feel familiar to him and look like Latveria, as then they all go to the Imagine Order, 4 explaining to both Io and the Marvel characters who is coming. Right away, Iron Man comes up with a complex plan to take him down, which will need the help of everybody. This plan also includes the 0-point and something which he needs to do to it, but first he needs some equipment from his own reality. So Iron Man invents a tech on this board that allows people or places from other realities to get rifted into here. Then he sends many of these flying to land in a circle as they use the 0-point's energy, leading into his entire Stark Industries and personal house to be rifted into Fortnite. Iron Man uses that place for the second part of his plan, which was to turn battle buses into many jet engine buses, then using the help of Dr. Doom to create many deadly bombs and filling all of those buses with them. The idea was to feed Galactus all of these bombs to horribly weaken him and send him back to reality 616, as this is where the 0-point comes into play. Iron Man hacks the time loop of the island, forcing the 0-point to loop him, creating these jet engine buses, which that leads into the buses being duplicated into few billions of them, all ready for the arrival of Galactus. But as Iron Man is building and preparing this plan, suddenly something terrible happens. To understand this, we need to go all the way back into Midas's arrival. A mysterious person uses a boat to steal Midas's golden chair. He then takes it with a car into his house to hide it there for now, but the chair was so heavy it breaks the house. Then as the flood was happening, this person sends the chair to be protected by No Sweat Insurance. Until now he has taken that into the agency or the remains of it. This person then with the help of a witch creates a summoning circle, causing the chair to float, as he also got the reboot card of Midas when he died within the loop. Reboot plans don't really bring you back to life. If you die right away, you get sent into another loop. These rather can create snapshots of people who die. That's exactly what this person does, using the card and the reboot one to reboot a snapshot of Midas, right as he makes these devices that collect your soul break, releasing you into becoming Midas's ghost, going around to kill and take revenge on people he hates. The Marvel heroes and Io together manage to deal with him and stop this mess before Galactus arrives. But now that Midas' shadow is over, the man himself arrives.
Man.
You look like someone who needs a jetpack. There you go.
Galactus is sick.
Oh, he's getting right to it. Okay, energy readings are going berserk.
Damaging the 0 point causes us to be sucked into the inner dimension of the 0 point once again. Iron Man then makes us fly these onto Galactus so we can suck all of them and feed on the buses. As while that was happening, we can see many planets, especially the astral world in space. This was a world that Travis Scott brought into us for one of the coolest concerts ever.
reality.
This concert and the Marshmallow one happened because the Imagine Order members were bored, so they just wanted to have fun. Exactly like how they were bored and made an entire movie within season 4. But now we successfully managed to wound and send Galactus back into reality 616. As all of the Marvel characters return onto that world with him so they deal with Galactus in their home. During this fight, the island was horribly rumbling, as Galactus pulling the 0 point off the bridge has left a huge hole inside of that place, making Jones also hit his head for a bit and pass out. But right when the fight is over, he awakens. Dr. Stone calls him talking about how the Marvel heroes won, yet she also has this to say about it.
Yeah, but the 0 point is exposed. You have to go in.
Oh, come on. Last thing we need is another snapshot of me inside the loop.
No. The last thing we need is someone escaping the loop. You need to get in there and fix it.
The 0 point is exposed and horribly damaged by Galactus, so Jones is chosen once again to handle this. The ideology cannot function without this guy, so Jones tries to make the bridge still work even though the 0 point has been pulled out of it, as he manages to turn the vibration energy into a magical ball, shooting the 0 point with it. This vibration speaks to the 0 point and tells us to find the best hunters in all of Omniverse. But while reaching in, the energy sucks Jones down with it too. Here you can see Jones getting scared, but then he takes a serious face and decides to let go and jump in. You can see the courage within this guy every time he does anything, and that's all because of him hoping that his choices are helping people have a better life. Jones gets drifted by the 0 point into realities with the best hunters out there. As we watch the island flip here, our first teaser into what was coming. Jones first goes through some Fortnite original realities horroring Maeve, Reese, Condor, Lexa, Menace, and Mancake. Then he chose to hire the best bounty hunter there is, the Mandalorian, as all of these people are given their personal homes on the island in the time they work for the IO, and what they do is killing anyone who gets close to the 0 point to make sure that no one jumps in it, since that would either tear you apart into a million pieces, sending each piece into a different reality, or free you from the loop. Jones doesn't stop there, then he goes to recruit Kratos himself, the god of war, then right away going for Master Chief. After that, going through the Terminator reality, bringing people from there, then the Alien reality, going right into Street Fighter, bringing in Chun-Li and Ryu, Walking Dead reality, and many others after it, even getting help of T'Challa himself. The rift doors he opens from those wars onto the map stay open till the end of the season, causing the 0 point to grow even more chaotic, then shooting waves of energy off of itself. These are called reality waves, and they can rewrite reality and everything they touch. Jones returns to the island after 88 jumps, watching the IO do absolutely nothing while he was gone, that making him realize something. The IO wanted him to do this. They wanted the 0 point to go crazy and implode so it resets the entire omniverse, fixing everything itself. That's protecting this place from last reality yet again, but such a choice will cause the death of trillions at the same time, so Jones is disgusted seeing this and cannot lie to himself anymore. This is how all this time the IO was just using him, using his love for his family and him trying to do good in this world, controlling that to make him do everything they command. But Jones is done listening to this. For the first time ever, Jones is done being told what to do. He chooses to yet again be brave and do what his instincts tell him to do. That's being exactly what finally breaks his curse. Jones' access to the Imagine Order files has been denied, so he chooses to go right towards the 0 point, even though there is a huge battle happening there. Jones breaks the communication device he had with Dr. Stone as a symbol of how he will never let anyone control him anymore. He makes the orders from now. He goes through the battle arena, surviving and reaching the 0 point, as then setting his rift gun to bring in a 7 member, throwing it into 0 point. His plan thankfully works, as just like the other members, one of them comes within a meteor. This time we got the leader of the 7 himself, the Foundation. He chooses to attack Jones right away since he believes that is a trap made by IO to capture him, but Jones manages to stop this beating by saying this.
I can get you to Geno.
Geno, the old friend of Foundation, killing him is the main thing that the Foundation cares about. So hearing that name of course makes him stop fighting, while Jones finally makes him see what's happening to the 0 point. They make a deal for Foundation to fix the 0 point, while after Jones will show him where Geno is at. But remember, only Dr. Stone and the higher members know who the true Geno is. To Jones and others, they were told that Gunner is their boss Geno, so he doesn't even really know the actual Geno's location. For now, Foundation, who has studied the 0 point for hundreds of of years just like Geno. He flies in the middle of that thing trying to calm down the 0 point. But things are not going well, so we help out by closing all of the rift doors, as in the middle of that Jones gets reality waved into a rift butterfly, and we keep turning into different people, while as a reality wave turns bunch of loopers into chickens. We finally close the last rift door, and one of the most beautiful scenes in gaming happens because of it.
That's the last one! I think we got it!
That's the loop bubble.
That's intense.
The bloom was supposed to bring back balance between the three main energies of the Omniverse, the purple, blue and golden energies. But the 0 point has been messed with so much to the point that the plan fails, causing the bloom to
Imagine the view of that from outside of Reality Zero.
go all red, the color that shows unbalanced or overloaded energy within this game. The Foundation sees no other choice but to go for the 0 point and use it to summon a material called the chromium. With that, building a huge tower that reaches onto the 0 point so it can build a cage or cover around it. This material is built out of the same atoms that create the chrome, and they're filled with darkness just like it too. Yet the Imagine Order found a way to use this material for themselves for keeping the last reality outside of this world. Then since the Foundation used to work for the IO, that's exactly how he knew of this thing and summoned it. The plan was to lock the 0 point and his pieces within the spire so he can slowly heal back to normal and hold all of his energies within the spire, so no one from the outside can use the 0 point energy or mess with it anymore till he heals up. While chromium is nearly indestructible, so it will protect the 0 point too. Yet for this plan to work, both Foundation and Jones must put their lives in danger to save others. The Foundation is holding the 0 point together with only his hands, as he will get locked inside of the 0 point once the spire gets built, something which for a high chance could kill him, to the point that he even made the IO believe that he died from it. Then for Jones, he must overload and explode his rift gun within the 0 point so he can restore and return some of the 0 point energy back into itself. That meaning he will lose the power to run away from the IO after betraying them, and he would turn into a looper, losing his memory and everything. Yet both of our characters choose to make the sacrifice for saving us all in the greatest moment of Fortnite history shown here.
No matter what happens, do not give up. I will find you, and you will tell me everything.
You have my word. Here we go!
Jones is now loopless as Foundation is being tortured, suffering for months within the 0 point, while Spire Guardians, who are people that work within the IO, get summoned with chromium to protect it. The task of these Guardians is to kill anyone who comes close to the Spire structure, because as I said, this material is filled with darkness, and for unprotected people, connecting with the energy of this thing would allow the nothing to corrupt your body and soul, controlling you like a puppet. There was a thief who dedicated his entire life into learning of chromium material and especially the cube energy. This made him interested into connecting with the power source of the Spire, as he killed the Spire Guardians and stole lots of things needed for this. Then he finally got his wish, but something terrible happened. The Nothing directly gets access to Raz, removing his soul out of his body, as then he puppet Raz used him to open a gate with the Spire, one which summoned an entire mothership into the island. But while that was happening, before it all, the Imagine Order was doing its best to get the 0 point out of the Spire so they're able to use it again. They couldn't figure anything out, so they found the greatest detective to get the help of. The Batman was chosen to be manipulated and used by IO so they learn more of the 0 point and the loop, while also him trying to get the 0 point back for IO. But that guy would never work for such an organization, so they collaborated with Lex Luthor, Batman Who Laughs, and this guy to throw him in a trap. That's when him getting pushed into a rift by Deathstroke. The Batman here has to learn how the loop works so he can escape it exactly how every other looper does. He finds Catwoman in the loop as their instincts make them trust each other, leading to Batman sacrificing himself to free her from the loop, as now it's his turn, but the IO was not yet ready for him to escape, so they send Snake Eyes after him to distract Batman and make his escape take much longer. He finally manages to get out as we see Deathstroke holding Catwoman hostage. He then tries to trick Batman into trusting him since he doesn't have any memories, then showing him many other people who managed to escape the loop as well. With these people, Batman begins searching the entire island for answers onto how they can go home, until they come across an IO bunker. Yes, it's completely indestructible unlockable and can only be opened with a unique signal. Batman figures out the 0 point signal, so he grabs some using his device through the spire and the doors open. Within there, they get attacked by golem guards who get defeated through the runes on their head breaking. Beishtek then gets found dying in a corner with a device in his hand, one that was used by Deathstroke for leaving the loop on activation, so he had to kill the fishy to make sure that no one else finds out that he's a traitor. Batman keeps moving on with the other loopers as they see the war room of Io. It's probably the place where the inner circle come together. Then they find the bridge, yet there is a huge tower in the middle showing how far down the spire has gone. Eternal Voyager excited goes to break the spire material so it can cause chaos in realities, but on the first hit onto the spire, the 0 point and A together tear him into a million pieces, sending each into different realities. Batman still figures out a way to fix one of the kinetic core panels, then uses vibration cosmic energy shooting the spire to try and connect with the 0 point that has come down from the tower onto this base. The plan works as the 0 point from within exposes the bottom of the spire, releasing itself once again. Now that the 0 point is once again within the bridge, Batman uses it to send everyone back into their home realities, as we learn that all people have a special energy within them which allows this device to know what reality they come from. But before Batman goes into his own homeworld, he makes sure to explode the bridge with his bombs, as right on arriving back into Gotham he gets yet another headache, finally getting his memories back. So now Batman has unknowingly helped the IO by putting the 0 point back into their hands, as in return of Lex Luthor and Batman Who Laughs helping IO with this. Dr. Stone grants them one of their wishes, which was opening a huge rift in the skies of Metropolis, as Lex Luthor builds himself a suit that would protect him against the loop, and Batman Who Laughs has a dark metal around his head that would protect him. So once ready, they will jump in to check the Fortnite loop for themselves. This causes chaos as many of the heroes try to stop them. Yet if you remember, the Foundation was within the 0 point, so the rift that was opened within Gotham causes him to get rifted as well, him being dropped into the deep waters of that place, as right away Io sends their agents to dive in and try to find the Foundation, but they see nothing, making them think that it was killed by the 0 point. Right when Io gives up checking, Foundation awakens walking out of the waters, right then meeting Batman who can track 0 point energy from him, worrying the guy to think that Foundation is one of the Imagine Order. So they begin fighting for a long time until Batman brings up how they were within the loop before. The Foundation gets shocked because he knows that no one goes back home once they get pulled into that place, so he reveals to Batman how all this time he was being manipulated and used. He tries to explain everything to Batman while they're flying together onto the rift, helping out everyone there fighting the villains as Foundation throws one of them into the deep space, killing them, because if you try to waste his time, he's not like Batman, he will kill you. And after breaking the suit of Lex Luthor as well, here he gives Batman a device that is needed for closing the rift, but Foundation should be on the other side of the rift for it to work. Yet as he's flying right into it, Batman Who Laughs catches him falling in together, at that moment fighting each other as for the first time ever, causing Foundation's armor to crack, getting badly damaged, this pissing him off to the point of beating Batman to death, as he was the final person at the end of the loop, so he gets freed from it as well. But this means that Batman Who Laughs is still within the Fortnite loop, killing people here for fun as he keeps all of his memories thanks to the dark metal. He is waiting for a chance to reach the 0 point and bring darkness into every reality. For now, Batman and the Foundation break the loop, as now he gets to keep the promise he made to Jones, and begins searching to find and save Jones after what happened. All of this was happening while the UFO which Raz summoned arrived on this world, blowing up the spire to grab the 0 point, but there was nothing within the spire. That's exactly being thanks to what Batman did in the comics. The aliens now send smaller UFOs and begin taking over the island. They even take over some locations, growing their plants within order babies, then releasing abductors to steal loopers to experiment on them, trying to scan our memories. Jones at that moment was wearing a cow suit to hide from the IO, as that very choice made him get abducted by the aliens. The aliens, after building a huge event on the island for scanning the memories of every looper, while they try to use the Goddess of Rifts Ariana for attracting all of the loopers into this abductor, as with a promise of a party, they look into our memories, scanning everything there was, that's allowing the last reality to see every moment of the past. But also in the end, they saw the future as well. Seeing the future is an ability that the last reality abuses a lot, and we will talk about that way more soon. But while the aliens were doing all of these experiments or even abducting entire locations on the map, Dr. Stone is here and she needs our help to destroy all of them. For starting her plan, she sends IO members to capture Rick and Morty, so they can be used to help her build some technologies needed for killing the aliens. So they together with Dr. Stone build a railgun great for destroying the smaller UFOs. Then they steal alien technologies and alter it to create things like the plasma cannon, the gravitron, and many other technologies. But Dr. Stone had bigger plans, especially after seeing the aliens abduct some locations on the map. She thinks of building mini nukes filled with the same cubic energy that the alien technology used to work, then sticking them all under the farm location. Her plan was to threaten the aliens, then pull lots of cat food on here, which the aliens love a lot. So they choose to abduct this entire location into the mothership, then sending many of the loopers within the ship as well so she can use us for activating the bombs. Then as this plan was progressing really well, the Imagine order lands of imposters within their members who are trying to send this information onto the aliens. So Dr. Stone does her best to find these traitors, one of which gets revealed to be an alien wearing a human as a skin. Then the other turned out to be Maeve, who was getting manipulated by the aliens. Catching these imposters is exactly what we experienced in the new game mode that Fortnite created for this moment in the storyline. Now as that problem is solved, Dr. Stone is ready to begin her plan.
Okay, go. We don't have much time.
This event was also so good.
I feel them in. These aren't intended for organics. Let's hope that's not an issue. Have to reverse the airflow. Give me a moment. Okay, and then... Oh good, the bombs are in place.
We finally make it to a place close to where the bombs ended up with it, as Dr. Stone begins trying to activate the bombs. Yet in the middle of that, armored walls fall to block the signal as something terrible happens.
Biggest plot twist in Fortnite history.
A cube slowly forging out of the water we were walking on to begin killing us all. Dr. Stone brings up how the last cube nearly destroyed the island, so she wants to kill this one right away, as she manages to by causing a huge explosion of fuel light through these devices to kill the darkness energy within the cube. She now can go back to activating the bombs, as once that happens she tells us this.
We are fighting a war in which we are hopelessly outgunned. I won't bring you home. Not if there is a chance that thing can make it back to the island.
The loopers were starting to trust Dr. Stone, but the Imagine order yet again proves that they don't really care about our lives, and they will leave us to die if it benefits them. So the loopers feel hopeless yet again, just waiting for their death until... all of us pull some of our life force out of ourselves onto this cube, making it function using the pure light energy instead of the darkness. As once we reborn the cube, the panel begins moving up to reveal something horrible. Single cube that once was about to destroy us all. There are now hundreds of them just in this one mothership, and now they all fall onto the island as the mothership is blowing up right above it. All of the loopers dying here to respawn after, as Dr. Stone's plan was a victory, yet one that not only the aliens saw the IO doing this whole time through seeing the future, they also wanted Dr. Stone to waste all of her resources so she has nothing left to fight with. Once the real threat gets revealed, the Cube Queen. She was within a unique golden cube inside of the mothership, just waiting for the moment to hit the ground. As here she reveals something horrible. She says that everything we have ever been through, everything we have ever done, all of it was part of her plan. A carefully put together one that led into the Cube Queen now being here. So from the first time that the cube showed up all the way till here, every single thing that happened, the Cube Queen planned it all. This is possible because the last reality found a way to access into the spirit realm, the afterlife or the Fortnite where the souls of the dead people go to. If you manage to get access onto this spiritual vault, you can use this energy to see visions of the future, and the last reality abuses this power a lot to plan out their attacks, as Dr. Stone feeling completely defeated here, having no clue how she's supposed to fight all of these cubes, or the cube monsters or the queen, all of it, especially since she wasted all of her resources onto destroying the mothership. So thanks to that, the Cube Queen easily manages to keep killing and corrupting the island more every week, using the golden cube to travel onto all of the surviving cubes on the island, then doing some things to them to make the cubes make babies. I'm not making shit up, the cubes went to make like love to each other and they made babies. that actually happened. She also activates the cube we saw within Season X, which was under steamy stacks and being abused for making dark energy, bringing all of these onto the center of the island where the 0 point was located at, to then form a cube town on the center with a pyramid on top. Cube Queen then begins gathering extreme amount of energy on the top of that, as she sucks all of the life force out of the island. Now she's ready to bring in her entire army and finally take over the 0 point and all of Reality Zero.
The last reality is at hand! Destroy them, my children.
No, Blevin.
As our doom is happening, Dio gets revealed to have captured Jones after the fall of the mothership, bringing him into a room with a device used for wiping out people's memories clean, probably the same device that was used on the sisters. But as this was happening, Foundation, who was searching for Jones in the end of the comics, he finally finds the guy and gets to keep his promise here.
Impossible. I watched you die.
I got over it.
What you saw here is for the first time ever the Seven revealing who they are to the Imagine Order. The masks they wear are not just to protect them from the loop, but also the Seven were trying to hide how they used to be former IO workers. This allowed them to attack IO in ways that they would not expect. But the Foundation reveals his face here because there is no reason to hide it anymore. He sees this as a moment of granted victory for the Seven, and he really wanted Dr. Son to know who was behind everything all this time. Now Jones gets really happy here because all this time he has been the one saving people and putting his life in danger for the others. But for the first time ever, someone saved his life. Jones, because of this, feels like he finally belongs somewhere. He lost his family twice, but maybe the Seven can become his new family. So from now he does everything in his power to help the Foundation, shooting and rifting the IO guards away as the Foundation is trying to redirect some energy onto the device that Jones uses to flip the islands back onto the original Chapter 1. And now Foundation calls in help to get the loopers into safety.
Looper spotted.
Bro, when this happened in the event, I was losing my mind. The Seven, oh my god.
Hold them off. All right, everyone, fall back. Area secured. See you on the other side. Everyone follow me to the bridge. We'll be safe there. Let's move, everyone. Heads up! I know another way. Guys! What a day, am I right, guys? We're safe here.
The scientist brings us all onto the 0 point as the plan was to stay safe there and keep full control on the 0 point instead of the IO. But as I said, the last reality can sometimes see visions of the future. So the Cube Queen might have seen this very moment planning to send the caretaker for ruining their entire plan.
What about that?
You ready to swim?
We are now watching the entire line flip back onto chapter 1 with this beautiful scene, as the Seven's plan was to flip the world so Cube Queen's energy beam hits the water, causing it to get blocked by water, therefore an explosion chain happening because the energy has nowhere to go anymore. An explosion which pushes the Cube Queen into the portal she opened. So the Seven managed to save us all as we finally return back onto the original map. Yet because of what the caretaker did, the Seven failed to get full control on the 0 point. So they need to come up with a new plan instead. That's being a final fight against the Imagine Order.
So I really hope that you're enjoying this video. I worked really hard on this. In the middle of it, my CPU of my PC broke, so it was torture. Making this video was a genuine torture. So I really hope you're having fun. I hope that I did good. I hope the video is fun and like a really special moment in the community. 10 hours like daily, I don't know, something crazy every day. I was going mentally insane. It was like pain, torture, suffering. This video was so hard to make. So if you want to support my work and everything, the best way to do that is if you want to like the video or share it with your friends, so like it gets the views, or share it with some other content creators if they want to like react to it or anything.
This is not the Fortnite law.
Fun to watch. And then if you want to support my path so I can make more videos like this and things like that, my Patreon, it should be somewhere. Go there, you can support me make videos like this, following my dream and passion. Go back to studying the lore. What are you doing, man? Let's touch the grass.
Thank you, Happy Fruit. Appreciate it, bro. I didn't know you could do that. That's
It's time to comfort the loopers before preparing for fight, as he tells us this.
We've all been through a lot the last few years, and there's much more you don't even remember. You've all fought a good fight. But until we set the 0 point free, we'll be facing threats like the last reality. And worse. There will be no escaping it. That's why I need your help to destroy the imagined order. As long as they're exploiting the 0 point, everything is in danger. With your help,
is Cyan's
we can
video
free ourselves
the whole
from this
storyline.
place and leave the loop for good. We can all go home.
On this world, we see combos, or mystical creatures that can travel between realities or even rift around. They like to migrate into new worlds, and at this moment their last stop is this world itself. But as everything seems to be going very lovely and peaceful, suddenly chaos already begins as Yayo uses their druids to dig up and join us on the flip side. The Seven also waste no time as they're trying to get the help of the loopers for preparing for this war. Then Scientist tells the Seven that if they want to win, they need to search and find Paradigm, but the Foundation refuses to do so, making it not happen. The reason, as I've said before, is that what happened with Genoa has caused the Foundation to have extreme trust issues. And in Season 9 we learned of Paradigm helping the IO by piloting a huge mech. This information was revealed by Origin checking the IO files while they were inside of the bridge, and it has made the Seven extremely suspicious on Paradigm. They don't really understand why she would choose to help the IO, and there was no way for Paradigm to break out of the prison since Origin was locked up inside of the same place before. So Paradigm is seen as a traitor for now. John Jones tries to stop these arguments about Paradigm because it's tearing the Seven apart, and he explains how the trust the Seven had in each other was always a big reason why they won fights against the IO. So if this trust breaks, we will definitely lose this fight. And he was actually right, because these arguments allowed IO's massive drill to carve a huge command base for the IO within a mountain of the island, as then the IO is ready to pull off the first attack themselves, beginning the great final war. The IO right away manages to take over most of this map, as they put blimps on top of every location they capture to fully control them. Doctors also uses a device to block the signal needed for the loopers to build, which weakens us a lot. The Seven have been hit hard and they need to come up with a plan to get on top of this war again. Thankfully, last season Spider-Man and the entire Daily Bugle building was rifted into the island, as the Seven then met this guy, causing him to join and help in this fight before going back into his home world. Spider-Man actually comes in very handy, because the Seven were trying to figure out a plan for striking the IO, and that set into them finding finding the location of Paradigm's mech, then planning to fly there for fixing it up. Yet since the Ice King has made that place deadly cold, even the 7th suit would get destroyed on that moon. So here Spider-Man brings up the hero friends he has within Reality 616. Then how Thor and Storm especially could help a lot fight against the storm of the Ice King. The 7 like this idea, but they also think of sending Imagine and Jones with him as well, because while ago when Galactus was sent back into Reality 616, he had a broken piece of the 0 point being thrown there with him. This piece would help the 7 a lot on repairing the mech and supercharging it. So the team is sent to first rift a group of Marvel heroes onto Reality 0 using a rift gun, then to after find the Zero shard and bring it to the mech. Yet the rift gun only has 2 charges left within it, so the 7 choose to go for the 0 point for teleporting Imagine, Jones and Spider-Man onto Reality 616. This plan goes well as they get rifted, but he leaves the Foundation alone fighting Dr. Stone and Gunner by himself, as it allows them both to horribly strike him. Now we have Team A who is still fighting the Imagine Order, then Team B who has been rifted onto 616. In this way, the Imagine easily starts fighting Captain Marvel, showing how powerful the 7 really are. And now they all go to the Avengers base located within the body of a dead Celestial, as there are a large group of Marvel heroes, especially Iron Man, Thor and Storm, get chosen to be rifted into Reality 0 and join in with the Resistance. Right there, Iron Man and the Foundation taking a liking into each other's crazy suits as they form the Armor Bros. Then Imagine, Jones and Spidey go to find Wolverine, because it would be a great help for hunting down the Zero Shard, especially thanks to his great sense of smell. Tracking the Zero Shard causes them to end up within Wakanda, as it seems that the shard landed right among Vibranium. Yet Shuri got no alert of this happening. That must be because of the similar connections these two things have with each other, like the fact that 0 point really likes absorbing vibration, and that's basically how you speak with it. Then Vibranium works based on absorbing vibrations, just like another popular Fortnite material called the Kinetic Ore. Yet Wolverine's sense of smell confirms that the shard has been stolen from here, making us keep searching for it as Shuri joins us too, ending up in a jungle filled with dinosaurs. Within here they get attacked by a group of hybrids who used to be the minions of the Fire King, but who do they exactly serve now? These humanoid lizards make Spider-Man think that Stegron the Dino has something to do with the shard, so he leads us into finding that guy. As before moving, our Team B starts taking some rest, allowing Jones and Shuri to bond together and start liking each other. Then for Imagine and Wolverine to smash. Like no jokes or anything, they actually smashed. Spider-Man saw all of it. The reasoning behind this is that Imagine reminds Wolverine of Jean Grey, and the fact that both Wolverine and the Imagine have been alive for hundreds of years, making them relate to each other a lot. But most importantly, the Imagine has focused her life so much on taking revenge on her father, to the point that she has no plans to even make a life for herself. Wolverine here tried to give Imagine the reason to actually live her life, to stop focusing on her father and choose who she truly wants to be, and that's exactly the cause of her falling in love with him. But our team has awakened and they finally find Stegron located at the mansion of the high.
Bro, we got the Imagined and Wolverine. Now then we got the cubes. Bro, Fortnite just needs to add the whole intercourse thing into the Fortnite now.
Evolutionary. It seems that he stole and took the shard for High Evolutionary to experiment on it, as during this short moments he managed to fuse the shard with a substance named the Antarctic Vibranium. This thing works the opposite way of metals, and it can even cause any metal to fully melt. And since High Evolutionary is a genetical scientist just like Geno, it pisses off the Imagine, making her beat him up. Then Spider-Man uses this time to sneak into the mansion trying to find the shard. He does find it, but in the hands of Dr. Doom, as it all makes sense now. Dr. Doom is someone extremely similar to Geno. Both are medieval themed with their own cool castles. Both want to build the perfect world and protect it under their own ruling. Both are extremely smart and brilliant people, yet with huge ego. Geno, after seeing Doom in season 4 chapter 2, took a really big liking into this guy, so he always kept an eye on Dr. Doom. As now that the 7th war has begun, Geno really needs Dr. Doom to help him with it, so he personally invites Dr. Doom to become a member of IO's inner circle. Doom accepts this offer for his own selfish reasons, as then his first task is to steal the Zero Shard before Jones finds it. Geno apparently is also the one who took control over the hybrids after the fall of the Fire King, so he was the one who sent those minions to help Dr. Doom out. And the hybrids attacking our Team B was the plan of Doom to attract them onto the High Evolutionary. So as they all fight each other, Doom can just walk in grabbing the shard with no sweat. But the job of Dr. Doom was not done. Geno also taught him to portal onto the Ice Moon after grabbing the Zero Shard, so he can gather all of the powerful weapons and collections of the Ice King and bring them to him. So the IO can use these weapons that are meant to be reality-destroying level powerful, and so the Seven cannot get their hands on these things either. But teleporting with the shard means that there is no reason for Team B or High Evolutionary to fight each other anymore, as the final shot of the Rift Gun is used to follow Dr. Doom onto the frozen moon. Yet this guy doesn't follow them, because he says in the small time he spent with the Zeo shard, it showed him the future. That future being the end of everything, or so last reality is victory. Something which Geno for sure would have seen too, maybe the reason why he tries so hard to protect us from the last reality. But for now, Team B finds Dr. Doom using many of the Ice King weapons, as he even gets to show off how powerful these things are, nearly killing Wolverine, Shuri, Jones and Imagine and all of the others at the same time. Thankfully, before this moment, Spider-Man manages to steal the shard, taking it to the Foundation scientists Iron Man, Thor and Storm, who came to this moon a while ago for repairing the mech, and they even managed to find Paradigm alive within there. The Foundation is ready to execute her right away, only if she has no good explanation to why she have DIO within Season 9. Thankfully, Paradigm manages to clear her name, explaining what DIO would do if she didn't help them. So the Seven trust her once again, as he even makes Origin feel bad for being so harsh on her, as now that they got the shard right when the mech has been repaired and evolved, they supercharge it, going to save the second team before Doom kills them. Doom returns onto the island, getting to see there how during this time the Imagine Order was preparing a new version of Midas's Doomsday device. This one is meant to destroy the entire map and kill everything in this war, especially the Seven. The plan is, if that happens, the Zeo Point will rebuild a new island again, while all of the vulnerabilities that could allow the last reality to come in again will also get fixed, as now the final battle in this war begins.
We believe the Imagined Order's weapon system will reach critical mass sooner than expected. If we don't stop it now, all life on the island will be destroyed.
We'll have those shields down by the time you reach the
The
island.
last good event.
After all, they do call me the legend.
Uh-huh. Copy that. Stand by to engage launch sequence.
Crew to battle stations. I don't know if you say this, Cyan, right? Tell me if I'm wrong or right or wrong here, right? But people seem to, I see people asking, how are we on the Ice Moon? We're not playing as Lupus here. We're playing as the crew for Paradigm. These are not Lupus. Am I right in that? These are not Lupus. We were not playing as Lupus in the event. We were playing as the crew.
Crew to battle stations.
Oh, so they were loopers. The Seven brought 4 loopers that were trained to help. Only 4 no more. Okay, interesting.
Weapon systems hot. Now clear us a path through those rocks. Warning. Prepare for evasive maneuvers.
The Seven Angels are doing their best to break the energy shield deployed to protect the collider, as before we even reach it, the mech gets horribly damaged, nearly breaking. Yet Billy drives the truck with a slab container attached to it that heals and saves the mecha. This moment is more important than you think it is. If you remember, Bunker Jones saw visions of the future regarding a mecha and a monster fight after drinking a PLE smoothie. While recently he made another PLE smoothie. Don't ask me why again, I don't know, maybe he just likes drinking his friends. Don't become friends with Jones. And Billy himself accidentally drinks it this time. That causes him to, just like Bunker Jones, to see visions of the future. The vision being exactly this moment we see here. So Billy right away asks us to teach him how to drive. And now we finally see why. So thanks to him, we finally reach the device ready to destroy it with our sword. But DIO is prepared for everything.
Hold on!
Eject, eject, eject.
The mech is horribly damaged, so Paradigm is trying her best to turn it on again. While till then, Foundation flies in, joining us to get our help on attacking Dr. Stone. And as we're doing so, Geno one-shots Iron Man's new suit, completely destroying it in seconds. That thing and a spider suit were made by the scientist, while he also made a full new armor and weapons for Paradigm as well since he loves her. He made this suit so powerful to the point that Iron Man was super impressed by it. Yet even that easily got destroyed against the power of Geno. So the Imagined Order and Wolverine choose to deal with him here, as even then he still crushes them all easily, until Geno gets distracted, getting worried of his daughters not wanting to harm them much. That distraction leading into a kick right into his face. Then all of their jet boots turned off. Then the Imagine sacrificing herself to make both her and Geno fall into the 0 point. And if you remember, when you hit the 0 point without it being focused on a single reality, you get torn into pieces, rifted into every single wall. So both Geno and the Imagined are slowly dying here. But at the same time, Jones and Foundation reach Dr. Stone. Jones even trying to make Dr. Stone stop allowing DIO to control her. Yet he fails, leaving no option but for Paradigm, who finally turned the mech on again to smash her with it. Then taking us up to the collider, while suddenly Geno makes the 0 point focus on him and the weird magical reality he has gone to. He wants the Foundation to come up to him, so he does that together with Jones. Now pay attention to this part, it's really important. Geno brings up the past history among him and the Foundation, how all he always wanted to do was to protect every reality and to perfect them after. Yet the Foundation thought that Geno's way of doing this were wrong and immoral, so he wanted to do it in his own way. Geno then says, congrats, you finally get to protect the world in your own way. But if you fail, it will bring the end of everything and the victory of last reality. You gotta remember that Geno is one of the smartest people to ever exist. He manipulated Jones and Dr. Stone for centuries to force someone doing exactly what he wanted. So him saying these things to the Foundation is also because he's trying to manipulate him. Everything this man does has a reason, and we will see the reason for this one in just 2 seasons. But on the other side, I told you that Geno cares a lot about his daughters. He tells us here how he did something to both himself and the Imagined. Geno lied to the Foundation here, saying that the thing which he did was slowing down their death. But that was a lie, because he rather told the 0 point to take pieces of their bodies and bring them together in another reality to rebuild them alive. So yes, thanks to the 0 point and Geno's thousands years of knowledge on it, he saves both himself and the Imagined. Now Foundation here finally shows character development of becoming more trusting towards the 7 members and Jones, or even trying to be less serious and more friendly, to make the 7 feel like a family again, as we thank the Marvel heroes. Jones hoping to see Shuri and Spider-Man again, Iron Man hoping to see his armor bro. Then with the power of Force Hammer, they all go back to 616. The 7 are now in control of the 0 point and they have begun freeing people slowly from the lift,
Such an
letting them
underrated
party
season,
and have fun
vibing
now that
was,
the IO
loved
is
it.
destroyed. But again, everything that Geno says has a reason. He knew that this victory would not last long enough and he just used it as a trap. While we were happy, it gets revealed how a last reality plan-based being is watching over all of us through an orb. She is the herald of the Nothing himself, a message of what will come in the future. Remember how the Cube Queen said that everything we have ever been through was part of her plan? Now look at what happens every time the 7 do anything. The rocket leads into a last reality cube coming in. Scientist Black Hole led into a rift, bringing in Galactus himself, one that horribly damaged the 0 point, forcing the Foundation to summon Chromium for calming it down. The same Spire Foundation summoned Corrupted Raz, letting the Nothing puppet team to open a gate and bring in an entire mothership into the map. Then the 7 just destroyed the IO. It seems this army figured only the IO knows how to protect us against them, and all this time they were using the 7 for their own gain, using them to weaken and end the IO so they can come in after and take over. That's why I believe Cube Queen was not supposed to fully take over Chapter 2 Season 8, but rather only give the 7 advantage over the IO. And the Cube Queen saying that everything you have ever gone through was part of my play, I believe she means the 7. The last reality has been keeping an eye on them, trying to use these people for their own gain. Exactly why they kept doing things right after every choice the 7 have made. But now that the IO is gone, there is no more use for the 7, except maybe capturing them to do what exactly they did to Raz. So the end that Geno talked about begins. The 0 point being free in water without being controlled allows this energy to flow through the water, and the tree is absorbing all of it, growing into a reality tree, one connected into every single reality which exists. The Herald's Wing plant manages to connect with this tree, forcing it to grow roots in many locations on the map, causing them all to shift and change between many different places from other realities, like he wants to bring something onto the island. At the same time, 0 point has drifted objects onto the island, wanting us to find them as a warning, so the scientist builds an AI assistant for himself called Amy, and with the help of her they manage to find all of the artifacts. But every time they grab one, the 0 point sends a huge wave through many realities, one which scientists understands to be calling for help, the 0 point trying to reach into someone and asking it to protect itself. This horrifies the scientist, making him understand freezing the 0 point was a terrible choice, and he realizes how much of that thing's energy is being stolen by the tree. Then using the bushranger, he also confirms that yep, the Herald has full control over this thing, yet before they can do anything about it, those shifting locations on the map suddenly stop changing, almost like the thing that the Herald was trying to bring in is already here. And right at the same time, suddenly the Imagined, who the Seven managed to find after she was reborn, the Order and the Foundation, all of them suddenly disappear, and there is no trace of them either. We managed to find the last location they were found at, and in each location a liquid chrome material was found. So we take samples of it to the scientists to see what exactly is going on, but things even then go horribly.
Whoa! Starting to think this may be a problem.
Get out of here! That's
Last time we saw the 7.
As you could read the Imagine Order language here, it says that this chrome is made out of the same atoms that the spar chromium uses as well, linking a direct connection between them. But more importantly, 3 more members of the 7 joining the other 3 in being captured by the chrome. These captured members are being teleported by the chrome's power and sent on to the Last Reality's ships. So as I said, now that the Last Reality's need for the 7 is done, they want to instead turn them all into mind control Last Reality soldiers. The Paradigm managed to escape from this, and she uses the 0 point to rift herself onto Reality 659. And as I have said, all living beings have an energy within them unique to their home reality. So Paradigm might have used that same energy within her and her suit to rift her back into her own reality, a place said to be super advanced and good with technology. So maybe that homeworld could be Mega Reality itself. Jones and Amy tried their best to speak with her using the Reality Tree roots, but they are mostly hopeless on the island as the chrome is taking over the entire thing really fast, especially thanks to the chrome nados spreading these things everywhere. The Herald does not begin her plan of destroying us yet because she's waiting for the Reality Tree to steal some more of the 0 point energy. So till then, some Crowdtail Last Reality monsters are celebrating their victory and having a paradise, while they even invite loopers on the island to accept becoming a monster and join in with the Last Reality. During this time, you could still keep the track on what exactly Paradigm was doing by keeping an eye on Dano Master's Twitter. Apparently, Paradigm has been jumping through many realities since she left us, the first being Reality 659, then she goes to Reality 153, then 602, after that 651, and most importantly Reality 714. Master Divine changes his banner with this one into Snowy Mountains. Exactly 5 different realities that Paradigm traveled through, and 714 was the last one she went into, as now the Herald finally begins her mission to destroy us.
How long left? 40 minutes, I think. 50 minutes. Oh my god. No, Herald! Wait, oh, I mean, yay! You're the bad guy, I forgot. Oh, crap. I'm starting to think this may be a problem. You had to fall asleep, don't fall asleep. We've got more lore to watch. Cyan, you better use Fracture Reshaped. You better put that in the video, bro. I'm telling you right now. That's canon. Okay.
The Herald has succeeded in her mission of using the energy within the tree and turning it into a nuke, as after thousands of years our island has completely been destroyed. But suddenly, as the Zero Point is trying to bring the surviving pieces together and the loopers, suddenly Paradigm reveals what she has been doing within those 5 realities she traveled into. Paradigm built a device in her homeworld and placed them in 3 other realities, which were Jungle, Off-Found and the Frozen reality. Yes, 3 of the 5 original realities that got looped and are super important realities to the original Fortnite. Exactly why one of them is home of Geno himself, the other home of the Ice King, and the last one is to be the home of the people like Cube Queen before the creation of the last reality. The 2 others, Mega and Greek, have not been brought in yet, but soon they will. For now, with the chunks of these 3 worlds, Paradigm builds a new island, while the Jungle lands under the other 2 reality chunks. This world is made with many things within it that are supposed to save us from the last reality, but while the new temporary island has been created, Dono Master changes his location yet again from reality 714 onto the Zero Point, because again these locations show where Paradigm goes to, and this right here was reality 714, while she got pulled right from it onto the Zero Point itself, so exactly the reason for the location change. Yet once the island is fully built, he then changes his location onto the Icy one, teasing how Paradigm has now gone into the Frozen reality chunks, possibly even trying to reach or grab something from the home of the Reality Warriors, a group with members not revealed to us yet, but Paradigm has recently got an edit style called the Reality Warrior, showing us how again she probably did something important here. Donna's location then changes from the Frozen one onto Reality 16, meaning that after that place she completely rifted herself out of Reality 0. That's exactly being why we never saw her anymore. But then the location changes yet again onto Reality Unknown, so I believe that something terrible happened to Paradigm within the 16th reality. Maybe even the last reality managed to capture her as well. Exactly why the location and reality of Paradigm is unknown now. For now, Amy has been given a message from Paradigm to check the kinetic core from the Off-Found Kingdom. That very material was a big reason why she brought these chunks together. Now the interesting thing is that this thing that can absorb energy and multiply it into infinite power exists within every single reality we see from now. So it's been confirmed that the Frozen world has it, Jungle, Off-Found, Mega and all of the others, let alone proving a direct connection between these 5 worlds. Amy here gets really excited, wishing to build herself a full-on robot army with many different type of weapons, especially teeth. As for now, she's doing her best to find out what exactly is happening to the 7. But for her to find out, another person is first needed. Stellan, the Rift Warden of Ages, the man who is the snapshot of Geno left to rule over his old kingdom. Stellan said that he came to the Off-Found with nothing, no name, no family. He barely has any memory of his past. He was told directly by the Shipless Man to come onto the Off-Found, a person who hunts his dreams and speaks to him in them. One that was that he manipulated Stellan's dreams ages ago when he was just a child, and then the Shipless Man took him as his own, kind of adopting Stellan. He says how since then he doesn't remember much after, and he has not had the Shipless Man manipulating his dreams until this very moment. He says that it happened right when the island was created, and apparently what happened caused the kinetic core to evolve, to become much more powerful and now called the Refined Kinetic Core. Stellan says how this Shipless being wants us to help the Ageless build his Rift Gate, a device that allows portals to be opened onto any reality, possibly even hints of how Geno himself ages ago learned to do such a thing. He then says if we don't build this thing, a very dark fate will come for all of us, possibly our death. If the Shipless Man is Geno, he's trying to protect us using the Rift Gate and our doom would be the last reality coming. But the Shipless Man could also be the Nothing, we're still waiting to confirm that. The Rift Warden begins building that thing as he learns that Refined Kinetic Core is needed to make it function, as once it is finally built, the Ageless tells us where exactly to open the portal on. Since Ageless has no clue of the Shipless Man, he's allowing this thing to be built for his own reasons. Yet as Amy sees this thing opening, she gets interested into seeing why exactly such a device is being built. So Amy tries to create a smaller Rift Gate based on the original, as she turns it on, throwing 3 tiny robots in with memory and voice built into them. Suddenly, all of the 3 samples return, yet they look completely different. But not just looks, they also reveal something horrible.
Change, oh my god. Oh,
the
crap.
look change is supposed to represent what exactly has happened to the 7, how they all have now been corrupted and changed exactly how Raz was a while ago. Then this robot saying all of them means Paradigm might have gotten captured as well, exactly why Master's location suddenly changes into unknown. This terrifies Amy, making her steal some of the AIM blueprints within the Frozen reality, the same robot we saw scanning the map within Season 7, cause again the Frozen reality is exactly where the Ice King, Santa and the Ice Moon originate from. Now she creates a new aimbot using some of the Off-Found technology, technology. She then takes full control of this thing, jumping in the rift gate, so she tries her best to reach the 7 within the last reality ships and find a way to save them before it's too late. So Amy says goodbye to us and how we won't be seeing her for a long time. Yet right away something horrible happens. It seems someone has messed with the gate, changing its coordinates and causing it to explode right on that. The energy of it then escaping into the skies, opening a huge red rift as it focuses on a new changed reality. Stellan gets horrified, yet he also says that the shipless man is happy, he believes he has won, and also that he has always imagined a world of perfect order. He then gathered some information from the destroy gate that was really hard for him to decipher, making him think they're works of exiled sages from the Oathbound. So he takes it to them asking for what the information says, and it gets revealed to be
a beautiful monster enabled by the hubris of a champion.
Champion we all know at that season to have been referring to the Ageless himself, and hubris means high confidence to the level of ego, exactly the personality of Doom and Geno, which means Geno years ago enabled the beautiful monster with his confidence. That beautiful monster gets revealed to be Stellan himself soon after. Therefore, sages revealed that Geno years ago enabled Stellan into becoming a beautiful monster. Maybe that is exactly why Stellan has no memories whatsoever, because becoming a monster is blocking his memory. For the moment, Stellan is out of ideas, no clue what to do, so he just wishes for the stars and fate to guide us all, leading into huge things coming through the red rift. Chunks of land come from a Japanese-inspired reality, one with a cultural and a magical side, then also a super advanced and futuristic one with crazy technology, something that makes me think this might be reality 659 where Paradigm was born in. Doing crime is very popular in this world as wildcards originate from this place along with 5 crime syndicates. First we got the Peace Syndicate who love crimes and chaos, but they try to keep peace among all of the syndicates and protect the innocent people from getting hurt. Then there is the Unseen Syndicate filled with hackers or secure super powerful beings like Renzo. This one is basically the Peace Syndicate except without the peace, and they don't really care if innocent people get hurt in their crimes. Then there is a very fresh and new one called Luminaries, founded by Mystica. She's from a world that was completely destroyed probably by the last reality. A very small group of people survived that world and she's one of them. She is a being of vast knowledge, so using Luminaries she's trying to invent technologies that help evolve Mega Reality to make it a stronger world. Now going back to the cultural side of Mega World, there is an empire called River Guard. This faction basically rules over this world, and they're filled with magical, super powerful beings. The empress of this empire has the power to control the tides and water. This faction has a historical rival they have been fighting named the Fox Clan, yet another magical one with pink powers they gain thanks to wearing these masks. It connects them all to a guardian like Kitsune that is meant to be their protector, giving them these powers. They also seem to have the power of rifting for traveling worlds. It is said that the Fox Clan lost everything and they all were nearly killed by something horrible. One of their important members, is Drift, was rifted from our own real life onto Fortnite, then given one of these masks in secret, becoming a Fox Clan member through it. The other important one is Stray, who's the brother of Mizuki herself. He chose to leave the River Guard and instead join the Fox Clan, to maybe even assist them for rebuilding after they lost everything. That choice of his has forced the siblings into becoming rivals. But before this world even came to chapter 4, another person stepped in from the gate who was named Nox. The last reality also along with him sent Dahlia, who had the chalice of Cube Tastrophe, an object of power waiting to choose someone for gaining his magic and destroy the entire world with. This object was put hidden within Anvil Square for the moment, as Nox begins his plan by first going onto the Peace Syndicate servers, deleting all of the information regarding the last reality. But why them? Well, Nox is part of Triarch rulers who control the realm that used to be his homeworld. This world got consumed by darkness, getting fully destroyed, while around the same time suddenly the third Triarch just vanished. Maybe that is Stellan himself was taken away by the shipless man in a very young age, and him leaving might be the very reason this place got ruined. Nox used to be the ruler of darkness, a peaceful guy bringing comfort of night to people, while the other Triarch was Aurora, who kept the suns glowing and allowed life to keep existing, even though she failed to keep the suns alive once everything was ruined. Nox then left his world after everything got destroyed, coming into ours instead. Here says that he came across a decaying living force who's the Nothing, one who changed and evolved him, causing Nox to grow much more chaotic. Then after joining last reality to help them destroy many realities, Aurora has been chasing him all this time, seeing all of the realities that have been destroyed by Nox, as she has not arrived here yet. Nox has a plan and a goal here, but till he reaches that, he chooses to use some unseen members, maybe them betraying their own faction and vote for the last reality instead, then using that as a distraction to cause fights and chaos among all of the syndicates. His plan works as all of the 5 syndicates get too busy trying their best to stop the fights and restore peace among each other. But why is this distraction even needed. That's because Nox is not alone. Another last reality member named Serenade was also sent with him. She interestingly has the exact same powers as Mizuki, which should mean that Serenade is a former river guardian who chose to join the last reality. Doing that has evolved her power to grow even stronger than Mizuki, as she has also gained the power to hypnotize you with her singing. The distraction was done by Nox so no one pays attention to what Serenade was doing. That being summoning these river god towers that allow her to control the water flow on the island. Then she uses that to attract veins of the huge trees under the ground to grow towards the water on the surface. This was done because when a tree vein senses water, it will break even through rocks to reach that source. The idea was to use that and cause these veins to open cracks among the ground, causing it to crumble, so the jungle under us gets revealed. Nox wants this place to be revealed, but why? We will find out by exploring this place, just like how a faction with luminaries named the Explorers do the same. They even open many camps or command bases all over this jungle, with equipment everywhere to research every secret within this ancient world. And as they were checking this place out, someone familiar has been keeping an eye on them, that being Dr. Stone herself. You could see the 0 point pulling the very tank she was smashed within onto the chapter 4 map, and apparently that thing also was put under us within the jungle. There is a man who discovered this jungle before all of us, who's named Relic. He found the technologies of this ancient jungle, and even a suit of their people he wears. He managed to find Dr. Stone within that tank as she was barely staying alive. Then he used the jungle's technology to heal her. Since then she has been extremely interested into this jungle and its kinetic ore tech, and especially to find out why exactly the people of this world are just gone. No trace of them being the reason of it either. Dr. Stone even finds a kinetic ore projector tech that has information regarding every tech within this place. She believes that someone wanted her to find this thing, so she turns it on to see what exactly is going on. The device right away projects an apparatus which we find the remains of it on top of one of the main buildings. The hole on the main temple also directly pointing towards the thing too, so she tries to fix that thing up using the guide. Dr. Sun is very interested into what exactly that thing does, yet she can't really do this thing all alone. So seeing the explorers gives Dr. Sun an idea to use them by acting like she wants to be a part of that faction, as she does so using her experience and skill to become a decently high rank. As then she becomes close friends with Trace, getting lots of help from him. This faction starts up by first cleaning up the apparatus, as then trying their best to find every missing part of this thing to repair it. One of the important missing parts was 4 kinetic prisms that would go within this thing for manipulating or even projecting light. As while that was happening, at the same time Dr. Stone was working with Optimus Prime, who got teleported thanks to this device in the main temple. There are 2 more of these devices, one of them controlling the apparatus itself, but the other seems much more mysterious. Optimus Prime says how he's not really sure if we can trust Dr. Stone, but that we have no other option because there are formidable enemies coming who would destroy us all, and only Stone knows the path to save us from these enemies. Therefore we must follow and support her in this path. It's even said that Dr. Stone might have her own selfish intentions to go through. She is not only trying to save us, she is also trying to reach something through this for herself. But now the apparatus is finally fixed up. We turn it on, causing a huge stars map to project into the skies. It seems that this device is meant to warn us of something, and basically to predict something coming towards us, an eclipse. Possibly that being the exact reason why the people of this jungle chose to leave this place, finding a home among the stars instead. That home and a great secret on it exactly being what Dr. Stone is very interested into finding and probably going to. But for now we need to worry about what's coming. That being the formidable enemies, or so the last reality is slowly coming towards us to finish destroying us and create the single universe. I believe this device shows that once the end of everything is coming, the last reality's huge cube cradle would block the light of sun, causing an eclipse to happen, a warning of the end. As then there is a whole eclipse stream faction who goes to those eclipse worlds, and before the last reality arrives they steal all of the valuable objects from them as collections before everything is gone. The owner of this faction is Kado Thorns, who comes to us himself. This guy is a super rich collector who owns many hotels, and he originates from the mega reality itself, exactly why he ordered a custom kinetic ore katana to be made for him which has the souls of the dead stuck within it. Then an entire hotel themed around mega reality with a Japanese restaurant and a river guard theme. Then Valkar's being his henchmen who are confirmed originating from Mega, as he even never steals anything from Mega because it's his home, only from other realities. He owns a time machine which he uses to travel into the past of the locations he goes to, doing this to not only steal powerful collections from the present, but also the past of every reality too. The last time this thing was used, he traveled into chapter 2 season 2 with it, chopping off the left hand of Midas which had the golden touch powers, then fully killing him, stealing everything Midas had, especially his drum gun, and he even goes after Oro, the source of Midas powers, chopping that guy's head and taking it as a collection as well. The reason why he can can kill powerful beings so easily is because Kaido has some rings that contain darkness energy within them. These rings can allow the darkness to take over Kaido's body, fully altering him into a vampire. This vampire form doesn't even have a mouth because it instead can suck the life energy out of you just through the air itself. Kaido is here to collect and steal our powerful items before the last reality destroys all of us. But his presence here is very beneficial as well, especially because of the time machine. Dr. Stone is thinking of using that thing as a way to transport all of us and the 0 point from this place into another far away from the last reality. But stealing such a thing would be extremely hard, so she gets the help of an old friend to build a full-on haste team. This team manages to successfully steal the time machine because at the same time a group of monster hunters were trying to kill Kaido Force himself. These are called the High Stakes Club and they used to be huge fans of Countess Dracu's concerts. She ended up being a vampire, gathering fans to suck their blood, so the High Stakes Club have to choose to kill her and every monster on the island. As an elf being who has been chasing Kaido through time helped them with this deal. That same elf finally catches Kaido during this fight, managing to take revenge on him, killing him. It is said that Kaido ruined her entire life, probably causing the death of her family. The funny thing is that during the entirety of chapter 4, Jones was stuck on a chunk of land, floating in space, just slowly being pulled towards the island. And only right when the time machine has been stolen, he finally lands here, meeting the same person who tried to kill him. This to put their differences away for the moment, since the life of everyone is in danger, as Jones gets chosen to use the time machine while Dr. Stone supports him. The first test use of the thing causes items from chapter 1 to get rifted into us, as then they glitch rifting into real life instead. But now Jones is ready to once again save us all like the legend he is, using the time machine and arriving at chapter 1 season 5. Dr. Stone explains to Jones how the plan is to use the past for extracting ourselves into a safe place away from the last reality. Then she tries to explain the rules of time travel to Jones so he stays careful with what he does. Those rules are said to be like the butterfly effect within the Back to the Future. Basically, if you make any changes into the past and how it goes, those changes alter all of history, causing changes to happen within the present too. So like if Midas dies, it makes changes to every moment of history after his death moment. And the present itself also changes based on the effect of his death. Jones is told to make sure he doesn't make any changes whatsoever, as it could even fully change the personality of him and Dr. Stone as well. Even then, Jones is not quite successful in doing that because he crashes the truck he was using to transport the time machine cause of a banana peel on the ground, and I'm not gonna lie, after drinking Pilly 3 times, you deserve that one. And his presence in the past completely alters how chapter 1 played out as a whole, as Dr. Stone could even feel everything out her changing because of Jones's mistakes. Yet in the end, Jones managed to get the help of the past version of scientists, attaching the time machine onto his rocket and using the 7 from the past to transport us into a new place in the present. As for the start, this event goes just like the end, yet the time machine activation causes first the rocket to turn into many objects from the future like the shark, then the entire meteor itself, as once again we get to watch the reset or restoring of Omniverse, even getting to this time see it from the outside of the Omniverse. Reality Zero is being restored among every other reality, as during that some of the loopers end up in the Lego reality instead, some in a racing one and some in a musical theme reality. But much more importantly than that is the new Reality Zero we ended up in, the place we ran into for being safe from the last reality. This place has centuries of history, as it used to be ruled over by Greek gods and titans. One day they discover an evil energy is stronger than even the gods themselves, an energy which wants to take control and ruin the life of everyone. So these gods and titans together build the Pandora's box, and it's used to lock this evil energy within itself. Back then, Zeus, the king of gods, used to be a very kind ruler, giving mortals gifts and celebrating with everyone. But one day he goes to Oracle, a mortal who was chosen by Apollo to evolve into a spiritual future foreteller. Oracle is forced to tell Zeus of a future that is coming for him, his kingdom ruined and him falling off, no more being the king of Olympus. This future pisses off Zeus so much to the point that he wants to make sure it doesn't happen, so he begins attacking all mortals with his army led by Ares, planning to kill every single mortal there is. This same event made the Titans also force every single god and their homes into the box with the evil energy, since Zeus himself has now grown evil as well. The goal of the Titans is to make the gods become forgotten and become just a myth, so because of that they also choose to go into sleep under the map hidden from everyone, as the box gets chained onto the main Titans and fully protected by him. This event leaves the island empty for centuries, making the story of the gods become just a historic myth. But suddenly a new group of people manage to find and take over this world. Those are a bunch of rich people who together managed to form a faction named the Society. This is the vision of Montague, who also founded the creation of this faction. The thing and the goal of it is also extremely similar to the Imagine Order, as they want to create a perfect society using this island. Then Montague Montague himself is even basically like the Midas rich man of this faction. This thing has existed for many years and the most important member of it is named Valeria. She has a grandfather with direct link to the Greek gods. Later on we actually learn all of the society are technically descendants of the gods. But Valeria's grandfather had a book with lots of information on the Greek gods, especially their powerful artifacts and even lots of information on Pandora's box itself. Valeria uses this thing to find the artifacts that give the society powers. She herself becomes the queen of the Phoenix Flames. Montague can turn himself into Diamond. Oscar has lightning powers. And Hope, the younger sister of Valeria who was born in this faction. She draws a lot and her power is that these drawings can be visions of the future. Exactly why she keeps drawing Dr. Stone so much. She keeps appearing in her visions. Then Valeria finds things called medallions. These things give their host protection and even more power. Valeria and her finding played a huge part into evolving this faction into what it has become. She is very similar to Dr. Stone even, just like her Valeria is obsessed with knowledge, reading tons of books trying to find every secret, especially trying to find the 0 point itself. That was exactly where we come into play, throwing ourselves into this world exactly at this moment as we try our best to turn this new island into a home for ourselves, a second chance even. Valeria, seeing us, gets very interested into Jones. She knows the guy can help her get all of the answers that she wants, so she sends Oscar onto stealing Jones' friend Purely, locking him up and use that against Jones and manipulating him with it. It seems that at first society took Purely into a hidden bunker at Grand Glacier where Wolverine was kept with it, then doing experiments on both Purely and him at the same time, as they were about to turn Purely into even getting similar powers like Wolverine. But then he awakened, breaking the cell and going crazy to kill everyone, causing the society to have to bring Purely out of that place and lock the bunker up, making it even get buried under piles of snow and ice. Of course, bringing Purely out of that place makes it much easier for Jones to find him, as society now moves Purely between their bosses' mansions. Yet during these times, Valeria's younger sister Hope betrayed the society, quitting it. She is very young and was born a society member just like Nisha, as she was never a fan of this faction, especially Montague. So she funds a faction named the Underground meant for destroying the society itself, while turning her own mansion into the command base as well. Hope, seeing what Jones is going through, sees this as a perfect chance to ask that guy for help, as he accepts it, building this faction up with Hope. And in return, she would do anything to help Jones get his friend back. Jones losing his own family who died, then the IO's betrayal, then the Seven being chromed up, now having no clue where Dr. Stone is either, and tired of losing all the people he cares for. He's just extremely lonely now and tired of losing all of the people he cares for. So stealing Purely has pissed him off and he would do anything to protect his friend now. Therefore he accepts to join the Underground. Together they manage to attack and weaken the society a lot, as Jones finally saves Purely from Nisha's family farm. But during that time, Valeria was dealing with much more important things. She finally found clues through the book onto where exactly Pandora's box is located at, the location being right near ruined rails. Valeria then uses her Phoenix Flames to fuel and awaken only a hand of the sleeping Titan. chains of the box are broken and Pandora's box has been opened, allowing all of the Greek gods to be finally freed once again and Mount Olympus or the Underworld to return onto the island. Yet the gods have been pissed off, especially about the people who have taken over their world. They begin attacking all of the society bosses in the goal to kill them all, and this very thing scares the bosses so much they all run away, hide, or even leave the island. The Greek gods, especially Zeus, have caused the downfall of society. But this is no good news, because as you remember, Zeus has been waiting to kill all of the mortals and nothing can change that. He orders Hephaestus to build him some hourglasses that are meant to grow his power and show the moment of all of the mortals doom, as he also sends messages to every god asking them to be on his side in this fight or pay the consequences. But while he was busy with all of that, Oracle has sources on the island and loopers get attracted to them to speak with her. She reveals everything to us about Zeus wanting to kill us all, but it's not just that. She also speaks of a hero who needs to lead us all not only in this fight, but another even more important than this one coming very soon, one which she teases by saying,
"And doom is on the horizon."
The plan at the moment is to unite all of the mortals together, go to Medusa and others as we get their help in this fight, and then try to speak with every god there is or impress them, hoping that maybe some of these gods like Aphrodite have some level of respect for mortals and are willing to fight for us. Everything so far seems to go well until something crazy happens. Kate of Horns killing Midas in the past has altered a lot, as it has made Marigold search for him since chapter 2 season 2 as well, yet he never managed to find any clue of where he was, until this this season she can finally sense the presence of Midas again, therefore going to Midas's marigold yacht and activating the Shadow faction to prepare for his return. Midas's presence can be felt again because his soul has been locked up all this time in a special cell exactly under Hades' throne. This man is so feared by the gods that they made a custom prison for his soul, as Hades' chains were used to bite into his hands because this thing can cancel your powers when biting into you. But Midas is so brilliant he managed to trick a guard into coming inside of his cell, killing him and then using his body to free the hand of his so he can turn the thing into gold. He then turns the door of this cell golden, smashing it open and killing every single guard by turning them into gold. As Midas' soul finally escapes Hades' captivity and with the help of Oro, who his dead body has become the Charon of the underworld, he gets to leave this place and slowly grow a body on his soul. But this comes with a cost. Midas is not really alive anymore. He's technically now a walking ghost with a body. Maybe that means that he can never die anymore, but who knows. The Midas you see now is a changed man. He chooses to wear a Greek armor and a crown once again. Midas is no more just a crime boss. He used to be a fallen king and probably now he's planning to restore his kingdom, wanting to leave this place back into his homeworld to rule again. The point is that he wants to restore his life into how he used to be, which means that Midas must earn back the trust of his daughter as well. So for that, having full control over his golden powers is a must, since that's the cause of his daughter's death. Thankfully, he figures that out by taking Hades' chains to Zeus, asking her to build a glove with the power of these chains that finally would allow Midas to cancel his golden powers when needed. As he only wears this glove on the left hand because again, that's the only hand of his which turns things into gold. So Midas is finally getting his life back together after the fall of his kingdom. He has control over his power, and he's wearing a crown again, showing the rebirth of a new empire. Now the plan is to use the yacht and travel into another reality, a world said to be much bigger than just an island, which should be his home. Within there he will begin the rebuild of his kingdom. But before leaving, Midas wants to hurt the God's Valley one more time, since he blames the gods for the past death of his daughter. So he summons volcanoes out of the ground, forging the lava with his golden powers, as molten gold rises onto Mount Olympus for horribly weakening the gods. And now Midas leaves the island. This action of his was a big help to advance the mortals in this war, as we even managed to break all of Zeus's hourglasses. But that only makes Zeus even more mad. We have broken the source of his immortality, so Zeus chooses to go for a power stronger than even himself, that being the evil energy within the box. The key to releasing that thing is lots of Zeus lightning fuel going through this statue onto the box's orb, as Zeus keeps filling up the orb daily until there is one more strike left.
This event made me realize how
A partial amount of this box's energy gets released, but rather than going towards Zeus for him to absorb it and kill all of the mortals with it, it instead bounces outwards from the island, hitting something and causing a big sandstorm. So Zeus's plan yet again fails, allowing Hope to come in with her underground and terribly weaken him near death, as she even takes over the throne of Olympus. Zeus only stayed alive thanks to a medic healing him up. But why did the energy even move towards the distance? That's because of Oracle's prediction, Doom on the horizon. Recently, Dr. Doom went into a wasteland deserted world, meeting a faction of shark fin pirates. Those people have a machinist who invented a type of fuel named Nitro that can make any machine work faster, even more chaotic. Megalodon saw the potential in this thing, so right away he took control over it for himself, allowing him to become the ruler of wasteland through it. As then he builds a suit, maybe with the help of Chaos Agent, that allows him to constantly drink this fuel himself, growing him super strong, fast and durable. But it came with horrible side effects like trouble to speak or breathe well.
This sound effect is so goofy.
While his life now depends on that fuel, Dr. Doom seems to want Pandora's energy for himself, but for him to reach it apparently nitro fuel is needed. So since he is very known in the Fortnite world, Doom uses one of the Ice King collections he stole to keep his identity hidden. This Wanderer Cloak gives you ghost-like abilities, turning you into a shadow person, allowing you to walk through walls, and even letting Dr. Doom go completely invisible. He also used this thing to intimidate Megalodon, showing how powerful he is, promising the guy of same type of powers he could reach if he follows Doom to an island he's going to. Megalodon at first was not too trusting in the Wanderer, but he still used his Leviathan ship to move towards us. Yet once Zeus released some of the boxes, evil energy. Apparently Doom was prepared for that and he had a device on him which absorbed that thing onto himself instead. Exactly why the energy bounced towards his direction and not Zeus. It's ending on a shock shift because Doom was right on there absorbing that power for himself. As Megalodon got to see all of it happen and a huge sandstorm to form, he finally trusted into the Wanderer, putting his ship into full speed and finally arriving on the island with the sandstorm. But his ship runs out of fuel on arrival and this thing needs lots of nitro to function. Because of it, Machinist is tasked to build a huge engine used for creating more nitro and then transporting it through a pipelines being built onto the ship fuel tanks. The thing here is that both Megalodon and Doom are trying to use each other for their own goals. Doom only cares and needs this guy's nitro and nothing else, while Megalodon only wants to reach the power Doom is chasing for himself, and he doesn't really care about the Wanderer as a person at all. So if any of these two reach their final goal, they will betray the other right away. As for the moment, Megalodon wants to fuel his ship and use it.
To be honest, I don't really care that Zeus was done really bad. I wasn't a fan of the Greek theme, but it turned out to be one of my favorite seasons of all time. Not for the story necessarily, but the gameplay and the updates. It's crazy. Why is it Spanish? Why is what Spanish? It's English, blood.
To destroy the entire island and pirating all of the powers on it after, while Doom for the moment is just tracking down the new location of Pandora's box, because it is said that after what Zeus did, that box chose to hide itself once again for protection. During all of this, Hope like always plans to strike and stop the Wastelanders, but then she hears of a ghost-like being watching every single person on the island without them even being able to see him. This horrifies her of something scary being here. She hopes to God that it's just a rumor, but to make sure she puts cameras all over the wasteland trying to catch glimpse of the Wanderer, and she does see it. Hope tries to figure out what exactly is going on. Our research that leads into her finding a constellation orb from Megalodon's ship. Right on grabbing it, she gets horrible headaches as Pandora's box makes direct connections with her, showing her visions and speaking with Hope. The box is asking her to find it, and it promises her of everything she has ever been wanting. But to reach those, she needs to absorb the energy within the box for herself. Pandora is doing this because Hope was always destined to be the one who opens the box and not Doom. But the recent events are putting the future in danger and altering how things were prophesied to go. Jones believes the box is trying to manipulate Hope and this is a trap. He talks about how the powers like the 0 point and this are not good to chase. They will either turn you evil or destroy you. But Hope feels like she has no other choice and her having it is much better than the Wanderer. So she finds 2 more of these constellations, causing the box to show her visions and warnings of the Wanderer. As finding the final piece activates a device that is meant to predict some future events coming up. The Pandora's energy within these were going into Hope, so she gains a direct link into the energy of the box, but at the same time this causes Oracle to finally use the energy in Hope as a connection to summon herself and speak again. Oracle begins explaining to Hope everything about how she is directly connected to the box and how it was meant to be our power, but Doom coming to grab it instead has altered our timeline. So instead Hope is now chosen by Pandora's box to be the hero who fights against Doom and takes his powers away from him. Jones right away comes in to speak with Hope, making sure that she will not be tempted into absorbing the energy for herself, since he believes it will either grow her more greedy for power or destroy her. She chooses to listen to Jones's advice for now, as all she can do is to prepare for the future. One way being aligning with Magneto, who says the familiar person on the wasteland, and Simpson has been following him to see what's going on. Magneto here finds the bunker that was locked up by society, as Wolverine can be heard within smashing the door trying to break out, so he frees that man, bringing him to Hope as well. Magneto is scared the familiar since he has someone terrifying from his universe, so he manages to get help for building some small reficans with the power to bring in people from his own world. To start off, Magneto brings in some X-Men members like Cyclops, Jubilee, Closa, Rogue and Cable, but soon many more heroes will arrive to join us in the fight against the Wanderer under the lead of Hope, as again Pandora's box has chosen her to rival Doom directly. But why? I think that it really wants to corrupt her. But while Hope and the others were distracted by preparing, Megalodon is finally ready to fill his ship, but so is Doom and his plan to betray him for using his nitro. Doom hacks the system of Megalodon and he had 2 plans here, one to fully weaken this guy, then also to create a pool of nitro for summoning the box. As for that, he makes an explosion chain reaching to the source of it, and then
this event was so cool.
The destroyer of worlds.
A nuclear explosion releasing a pool of nitro that forces the box out from hiding. Nitro has now been taken away from Megalodon as he has no other choice but to hide before Doom kills him. As when the nitro pool dies out, Doom finally opens the box, absorbing all of his evil energy within till that thing is left completely empty.
I can't believe this season was already a year ago. Chapter 5, Season 4. It felt like yesterday it started. It's actually crazy. Whole year.
Yet once he's done, an army of Marvel characters attack him to try and stop that guy, and it becomes the most brutal and horrifying battle ever. Doom kills Doctor Strange, Moon Knight, Thor, Silver Surfer, Galactus, Ultron, Magneto, who tried to help us, Thanos, and Namor, as then he turns Mr. Fantastic into a ball, keeping him as a collection, locking up Sue Storm in a glass box, turning the heart of Human Torch into the heater of his personal room, and making his new throne out of the dead body of the Thing. This was such a horrifying battle that the rest of the Marvel heroes chose to run away for now and go into hiding, while Black Panther, Captain America, and Iron Man were wounded so badly they had to be taken back into the Marvel vault to be healed back up. Until they returned, Shuri, Captain Jones, and War Machine were chosen to become their replacement and help us in this war. This fight left our heroes broken, and they only kept going because of the prophecy that hope will save us all. But this thing did not come out without a cause for Dr. Doom either, while he managed to kill so many of us, completely destroying the Fantastic Four as well thanks to his new Pandora's Box powers. The mask of his suit breaks off as a symbol of how this evil energy is trying to control them. He even tells us this about the energy.
I thought it would cheer me to gaze upon this crumbling monument. Instead,
What's up, Yaml?
but vacant hunger. It must be the box. It is exhilarating, but it is also wild, chaotic, uncontrolled. Using the box again without my armor appropriately upgraded would be unwise, but I won't have long to wait.
Apparently Jones was right, and Pandora's Box energy does try to turn you evil. It wants to take over someone strong, as then fully take over their minds and have full control over them. Grow you hungry for more power and destruction, because this golden power is meant to destroy the life of every single living being. Even then, Doom being the smartest person ever, right when he senses being manipulated, he chooses to stop using such power for now. For that, he plans to build a new suit out of pieces of Pandora's Box, and then using bunch of arcane stones that was built by the gods to help him contain and control such an evil magic. But there is a much more important reason for Doom being here than just power. He even tells us the reason himself.
Mother, I am building my new kingdom. This place reeks of failure, of fault, of imperfection. But it will not be this
Doom was
way
done
for
dirty
long.
though. Zeus, yeah,
This
but
place to
Doom
order.
was another
I
level.
will make it perfect by gentle guiding hand or by brutal fist of submission.
This season's story is the direct continuation of the Zero War comics, meaning that yep, Jones and Shuri, who were in love, finally are reunited. Wolverine is still sad of what happened to the Imagined. Spider-Man is also here, who became friends with Jones. And Iron Man is here, yet there is no armor, bros. Hey, I missed them. But more importantly, Doom promised us that he will build the perfect society, do what the IO tried to do, but under his own leadership. This is exactly why Dr. Doom has come to us right now. But there is also another reason why he's here and wanted the box's energy. On Valeria's book, right near the box, a moth was shown. Those things in Greek mythology represent the souls of the dead, as his own mother's soul was also shown as a moth in the Marvel comics. Doom's mother's soul was taken by the devil of Marvel, Mephisto, and since then every year he has been
True,
trying his
Cyan,
best
yeah.
to fight the devil and save his mother, but so far he has always failed. Yet now Doom believes, especially thanks to this thing, he finally might have the chance to save his mother's soul, and he even prepares for it by building a huge dark tower filled with lava that is directly connected to hell itself, soon even becoming a gate to hell for summoning Mephisto. But that's not the only thing this tower can do. Doom also uses it to watch over every single person on the island as he tracks everyone. Then this is exactly where he will use to build his Pandora's Box armor as well. Later on, he also used this place to summon a floating island in the map, watching the loopers fight on top of it, as the last person who managed to survive on there proved himself powerful to Doom. After that, he would ask the loopers if they accept to gain a piece of his powers and become his Doom bots, causing many of those things to be created and go around the island, while one of them sitting on Doom's throne acting like he's the real guy, cause Doom will not fight anymore until he has full control over the evil energy. The castle of his was summoned by him on the island, as he also summoned the Wrath and from Marvel Universe to free Mysterio and Emma Frost from it. He needed their help to begin this perfect society. Until the suit of Dr. Doom gets ready, Hope tells us these things.
Shuri's a super genius in a super suit who traveled all the way across reality to fight Doom. And me? I didn't do any of that. Since the Oracle's prophecy, everyone's been looking to me as their leader. And on the outside, I try my best to play the part. But on the inside, I can't help but wonder if maybe the box picked the wrong girl. I have no powers. I'm no master tactician. I'm just a girl with some spray cans. The one thing I can do is try, as hard as I can, with everything everything I've got. I hope it's enough.
There's that fire. You feel what you feel right now? That burning need to right an injustice? That's why we follow your lead. That's what's gonna take Doom down. I just know it.
Anyone who saw what happened here would feel the same way.
Nuh-uh, you're wrong. That fire inside you is special. You just have to believe that it is.
It doesn't seem like much, Jones.
Believe me, it's everything.
For the moment, Shuri comes up with a plan of reverse engineering the Rift Weekends to try and rift Dr. Doom with his castle far away from the island. Yet that plan also fails as Dr. Doom was expecting it, saying this.
I've heard this island's cowards whimper your name in fear. Hope. You may be prophecy, but I am judgment. And when our weapons do finally cross in combat, I expect to find you wanting.
After that, they also failed to stop Doom's henchmen who are controlled by him using these chips put into their brains. And then the Doom boss from capturing all of the 6 arcane stones and taking them to their boss. So far this means Doom has won every single fight against Hope. But before he's ready, Iron Man is finally fully healed and he brings with himself arsenals of his technologies for all of us to use in this fight. A choice which right away makes Hope's army much stronger than it used to be. Then Iron Man and Shuri collaborate together to try and do this Rift Weekends plans yet again. This time Iron Man builds a much stronger and bigger beacons with a control center in the middle that hurts the chance of this plan working much more. Then while our heroes are busy building those things up, suddenly the beacons can sense something huge coming to the island. It not only seems like Dr. Doom is finally ready to return fighting, but he's also finished building the powerful Pandora's Forge suit, as it allows him to fully use this box's evil energy without being controlled, something that gives him the power to grow his size to the level of Greek Titans since this magic originates from them. Doom returns right onto his Dark Tower because he was planning to first summon Mephisto and deal with him to free his mother. And yes, just like before, he already knows of the Rift Weekends. He even hacked them like before, as once they were shooting onto his Dark Tower to teleport him away, Doom creates a huge chuck wave to impact the beacons and destroy them all. His plan works and the gates to hell are still open. Yet Doom got so mad at what happened, he chose to leave the tower and kill every single person who dares to stand against him. Cause as he told us, if we try to stop his perfect society, Doom will force it on us with the brutal fist of submission. He smacks War Machine away, casually killing many of us until he sees Jones, the guy who he fought once and nearly killed in Zero War. Seeing him makes Doom so mad to the point that he takes his time to charge up Pandora's energy and release all of his anger on Jones. That's when Hope finally chooses to stop panicking. Dr. Doom picks her up because he said that he was expecting to see Hope in the next fight, and he finally saw why Hope was chosen as the one to go against him. Yet she doesn't waste any time. Using the vibranium shield which absorbed some of the Pandora's energy, she damages the armor and one of the Doom's eyes. And knowing that's when as now he wants to kill us all, while all the Avengers and Loopers assemble, making around 6 million people fighting Doom at the same time. Even though Doom manages to keep fighting for hours, killing many of us, seems like he failed to destroy all of the beacons as one of them survived the impact. So while we're fighting, Shuri has been trying to reactivate that beacon and activate it for rifting Doom into a spooky monster's reality. A volt further hoping that the monsters within it will kill Dr. Doom. But Shuri is finally done activating the beacon as it's now ready to rift Dr. Doom away. The cracks we made on Doom's armor allowed the evil Pandora's energy to be sucked out of it. As while it was happening, Doom gets a horrible headache just like Hope used to. And because of it, he pulls the mask off, leaving it on the island. This is a symbol of Doom once again losing control to Pandora's energy, just like he did in the beginning. As from now on, instead of Doom, the box's power is in control, making Doom grow evil and hungry for destruction. So the next time he returns, Pandora's energy will be in charge. But talking about this evil energy, Hope has gotten new information regarding this thing, as it makes us learn that this was just a small piece of something much bigger, much more terrifying. Because of this, Hope and Jones pack up, preparing to travel the Omniverse and find the source of this energy to stop it before it's too late. Their first destination in this travel seems to be using one of the damaged Rift Weekends and repairing it to use for traveling back into a version of Chapter 2. But after this, the more important destination these two are going for is Mega Reality itself, which is Chapter 6. Don't forget how Mega Reality people had lots of information on the last reality which Nox deleted, and how Hope was said to see visions of the future through her art. She just drew the same TV that we first saw within Chapter 3 Season 3. That was a teaser towards the Nothing himself, and within this very season we're seeing new teasers regarding the Chrome 2, and more Hope related arts connecting to the aliens, evil TV or the last reality, and yet again Dr. Stone as well. So for one, the thing that Pandora's energy is said to be connected to might be the Nothing himself. And the last reality will return to the story within chapter 6, while also Dr. Stone is shown by Hope's power to play a huge part in the story of this game. So get ready for that, as we all do too, by returning to the historic side of Mega Reality. Now as Hope and Jones are preparing to leave chapter 5 and explore what's out there, they are forced to leave the underground faction, no more being a part of it, as that faction, which now has Nisha and Oscar as part of it, they want to fix up their home island and clean it up to make sure that this world is worth living again. So the chapter 5 island is not gone, it's just being repaired and cleaned up by the underground, as there is a lot of cleaning to do, especially because the reef frequency which Dr. Doom damaged glitched out, causing monsters and evil things to find their way onto the island through the beacons. A big example of that being this pumpkin knight who hates the humanity and wants to kill every single one of us on the island. So the underground has to deal with him and all the other mess, while doing their best to rebuild this island back to its glory. But Hope still misses her older sister a lot, and will love to call and speak with her, so maybe they can put their differences away and Valeria stops chasing power or causing chaos. She calls her sister many times trying to speak with her, showing how much she misses her, but Valeria never answers because it is said that she's working on something very big, so we might see her again. Hope also says that the underground will not fight her anymore unless she does something crazy again, or how she can even join the underground to rebuild the chapter 5 map if she wants to. But even then, Valeria still ignores her. There is a big reason why that we will learn within chapter 6. The society might not be over yet. Now regarding our current small stay within chapter 2, while only some of us like Jones and Hope came here through the huge rift, Snoop Dogg among many of his friends like Eminem, This One and Juice WRLD were planning to use this to their advantage and alter chapter 2 to their liking, so-called remix it. Doing that using a disc that represents chapter 2 yet altered by Hope's graffiti on it. Snoop Dogg and friends managed to take over ghosts within the past and rule over the island for fun, but this is just more of a celebration thing rather than an important moment in the story. This also caused a version of Midas and Meowsos to be fused into one person, causing this cute abomination. I don't know, I hate it, but I also love it. So get ready to travel the Omniverse with Hope and Jones within chapter 6, landing in a mythological Japanese Mega Reality, as we meet Dr. Stone again and her playing a huge part in the story, or Valeria showing off what she has been working on, while most importantly hunting down the power source of Pandora's box, which could directly be connected to the Nothing himself. It's time to celebrate for the moment.
Oh crap. Let's go.
I've dedicated my life to the order, given everything.
Bro, that was sick. That was amazing, bro. Sorry, you did a great job. This, I can see the effort in this. I mean, it's just insane how much effort was put into this. You can see the improvements this year from last year as well. That, like, I feel like it was, you explained it so much better and it was so much more seamless between each season too.
Hey, scientist here. Am I the smartest, handsomest member of the 7?
This is sick.
You changed my life. I'll miss you. Stay safe out there.
The hell was that sound?
Our survival is more important than my survival. I hope to see you on the other side. The one thing I can do is try.
Scion, yeah, next year you'll do even better.
But I am judgment.
Oh crap. What do you guys think of the video? Guys, make sure you guys give Scion some love. Go sub to his channel if you haven't already. And thank you again, Scion, for that amazing video and for allowing me to react to it.